now.
Everyone, thank you for visiting and watching The Secret Hideout.
We are back. Are we
We are
doing the intro
here.
song? Are we doing the intro song? Should we?
Can I do my intro first before we do the damn song?
Oh, okay. So you're doing. Okay, yeah, you can.
You come here unprepared. You want to swing around your thoughts like you got some big old thing to announce. And then you come interrupt. Every single time I get a chance to speak, you want to interrupt.
All right, let's.
I just want to
know your role. Stay in your lane. That's all you gotta do.
I just want
stay
to.
in your lane.
All right, so
I was told.
Try to maintain some momentum, guys. It took us literally half an hour just to get this browser window working.
I was told to steer the boat
so let's
when
just,
we're going off kilter. So
let's just go. Let's just move. Let's move. We're moving forward together. We're moving forward together as a team.
Jordan, nor I have ever told you to steer the boat, Simon. I can guarantee we never said, Simon, we really need you to get us on track.
I feel that I interpreted it that way, but I feel that when we're going off kilter, you asked me to bring it back. So I just want to know, the order of things was that we start with the intro music first, and then you do the intro. That's how I understood it, for the past 5 episodes. So we're doing something else differently, right? Don't
Jordan,
rub your eyes.
Play the damn music. You know what? I have no energy. Welcome to the damn Secret Hideout podcast. I'm Josh Roman, Jordan, the sexy Stash Acosta, and the other guy, Simon Yu. We're here. We have a very exciting podcast. I got to build myself and ramp myself up to get back into the mood for this. But we do actually have a really good podcast for you. We're going to do some fun stuff. But before we get into the fun stuff, some big news happened this week. Simon, now you may take it away and show us.
Okay.
What's going on?
So before I do, we just want to shout out to Jupiter 7 because we have not made that credit again. So thank you so much, Jupiter 7, for the outro and intro music. You are great and you're awesome.
We really need a process for publishing these videos.
We do. That's the next step. Absolutely.
Yeah. Audio is first. How we're gonna organize the shows next.
Yeah, we're working on it. I'm working on it.
Go ahead, Simon. You don't take your word for it, right?
I don't have to take my word for it, and there's a lot of things you don't have to take my word for. For example,
are you guys hearing an echo still? I'm hearing
no,
echo.
Not as bad.
Yeah, there's an echo on your side.
On my side?
My side?
No, on Simon. On Simon.
No,
it's gone now. All right. If you guys couldn't hear it, let's just move forward. I'm sure it'll. Nope, there it is. Yeah. Am I crazy, Josh? You hear it, right?
No. I hear you. I hear it, but I don't think it'll be as bad as before. It's gone now.
And now it's gone. Now. All right, just move on.
Weird.
No, now it's back.
It's a gremlin. That's what it is.
Anyways. How bad is it? Because I don't hear anything. Maybe it might be me then, if it's you guys hearing it.
Yeah, it's really muffled. I don't think it'll affect it too much, but so let's just say this, compared to what it was before and what it is now is beautiful.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's just move on.
All right. So with that amazing buffer moment, word on the street, or you don't have to take my word for it, but looky here, guys.
We don't have to.
Oh wait, we're changing the segment, aren't we?
Are we changing the segment?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right.
I mean, we'll do it next time.
Yeah. Okay. Jive Talk / word on the street. You don't have to take my word for it. Dang it.
It's the segment about rumors, guys.
Thank you. Segment about rumors.
That's what it is.
Right.
We'll figure out the title. It's a segment about rumors that haven't been confirmed.
Yes. So, Disney Plus, or Disney just announced, Feige just announced, Jon Bernthal is confirmed as Punisher in the new Daredevil Disney Plus series, Born Again. And this is exciting, isn't it?
Heck yeah.
So exciting.
John Bernthal was my favorite character in season 2 of Daredevil for sure. And just that scene that's a meme now where he goes, no, 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 when his kids are being murdered in front of him, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun part.
Yeah.
Of the show.
I thought that was great comedy right there.
Very memeable.
I mean, it's not comedy in the show, but everyone makes that a meme now, and it's funny now.
Oh, okay.
Because they're like, one was like when the Subway lady puts too much jalapenos on your sandwich, and the guy's like, no, 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 no. No. Yeah, no, can't relate.
No, sorry.
I guess I'm not a connoisseur of memes. I guess
you're not a Jared fan, huh?
I guess not. I mean, look. He's good though. He's good. He's good as the Punisher. I'm glad he's coming back. This comes along with the a rumor that we're not going to get the whole cast back though, right? So we're getting Daredevil, getting Charlie Cox, we're getting the Punisher, we're getting Kingpin, but the other 2 core members of the cast sounds like may not be coming back, which is interesting, and I have no idea. Like, are they going to recast them? How does that work? It seems like it would be weird. I felt that they were pretty well cast in the Netflix show. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think when I watched the Daredevil Netflix series, I didn't feel like it was Daredevil. I felt like it was their attorney. He was an attorney first, and then he had to be Daredevil when he couldn't get what he wanted, And so Foggy and the assistant worked very well in that show. And what we got with She-Hulk and Daredevil is very different. Daredevil's just like this fighting god now. He's just like he's killing and like beating up.
He's definitely powered up a little bit in the MCU. It looks like.
Yeah, he's like leaping over buildings. So I don't know if we're gonna get that same Daredevil from Netflix. I think they might change it up a little bit, which is a little sad because I really enjoyed the detective work, the mystery in Daredevil.
Well, we don't know that he's not. I mean, he's presumably he's going to be a lawyer. I think the better question is we don't really know what the story is. It's called Born Again, but like, is it actually going to be based on the comic book series? Maybe not. Right. Are they? If this is a reboot, maybe he's starting his career new, and they're not picking up mid-career where the show left him. Maybe those characters come back later. Who knows, right? So yeah, it's. I mean, presumably though, yes, there will be more superhero-ing. I mean, what was it? How many episodes?
Man, it's a lot.
18? It was like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
That's like old school TV.
Yeah,
old school TV episodes. Yeah. That's old school network season number of episodes. Yeah. So I mean, that's plenty of time to do whatever they want, and presumably She-Hulk will make an appearance, or hopefully. One of the biggest, the single biggest failure I think of the Netflix universe. I don't know what it's supposed to be called. Is that they gave us not Luke Cage.
Iron Fist?
No, so Luke Cage is in I forget her name now. Detective.
J. It starts with a J.
Jessica Jones. Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
So I have Jessica Jones. Luke Cage is in the first season. Not like a critical part of the plot, but like an important presence. And then they give us Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones does not make an appearance, even when it feels like it would make sense for her to. And then in season 2 of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage does not make an appearance. And they just never followed up on that. And it went nowhere, right? I hope they do not make that mistake. If they're going to do this whole thing with She-Hulk and Daredevil, they need to follow up on it and actually make something else. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like a soap opera that goes nowhere, right? It's just like shocking plot things happen, but nothing ever progresses. So,
right. Yeah. But also has to work too, because with She-Hulk, they made it very lighthearted and like anything could happen. I mean, very, very comic booky. And so, yeah, Daryl could just pop out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, I just flew from New York over here to see you." And in his show, I doubt it'll be like that. So they would have to really construct some kind of story where like She-Hulk's coming in, maybe he calls her to help or something, but she's not just gonna randomly show up. I think
Right.
in a comic booky way.
Actually, more comic booky. So that's the real question. So John Bernthal as the Punisher in Netflix was basically just a guy in a trench coat who killed people. Like that, right? Do you think they're going to try to go for like an actual comic book Punisher with the skull symbol, not like a kind of like gritty, barely visible one like they seem to do a lot, but like an actual skull symbol and gloves? Like, is he gonna like actually have some ridiculous gear, not just like a shotgun?
I would love to see that though. I would love to see that.
Because in the comic books he had like white boots and gloves.
Yep.
Not very
That's
practical.
a great question, because in Netflix they could let him kill and do all kinds of crazy stuff like the comic books, right? The Max version. And I don't know if Disney will let him do this. Let him be the Punisher we know, or is
Definitely
he gonna be like,
not in.
he shoots a gun and you're not going to see like blood or anything, as the guy's going to be on the ground.
Definitely not in the Daredevil series. Like maybe in his own, but they would never let that happen in Daredevil, because that's definitely marketed towards a broad audience, right?
So there was an interview that John Bernthal did a while back. I don't know where he said it, but they asked him if Disney brought up Punisher again or Daredevil again, are you open to reprising your role as Punisher? And he flat out said, no, not really. Or no, only if there would be a challenge for him to do it again, or if there would be, and I believe he said like it has to be grittier, it has to be more violent. Like that's what he wants, because I guess he read the source material and he's like, well, it's not really the Punisher in the comics that we're doing kind of in the Netflix show. I want it to be more accurate to the comics. And the fact that this is confirmed now, I don't know.
So you think they promised him that he'd kill people, like,
and like violently, like explicit? Yeah, right, exactly. Like every episode,
they've got it all laid out in the contract. Like he gets at least 10 knife kills, right?
Yeah, right.
He gets right at least one semi-automatic machine gun sequence, right?
Two vicious guard dogs. He's able to kill, and so yeah.
But like, they might be able to do it because Andor was grittier and darker,
right?
And maybe
there was
not that much killing, but there was killing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They could definitely do it. I just don't think they're going to do it in Daredevil, right? I think that it would be in his own series or some other series, but unless they really commit to Daredevil being like a pretty high PG-13 series, which isn't out of the question. But I have a hard time believing them wanting to put Daredevil behind like an adults only wall, right?
Right.
He's just too lucrative of a character for them to do that. So
yeah,
they put him in Spider-Man. so
that's and like that was kind of like the challenge with Daredevil. Like in the comics, you're allowed to have like not a goofy sense, but more of a less kind of, it's not as violent Daredevil. And then I guess goofy. I guess there's certain comics where he kind of is goofy, but then like in other senses, in other arcs, he's really violent.
Yeah,
right?
I expect them not to go, because there's those ones that are like I forget who the author is, but there's one author who's worked on Punisher a few times. It's literally just him killing mobsters.
Exactly.
Like, there's no superheroics.
He's a very flat character, to say the least. With Daredevil, there's a versatility, but this guy. So yeah, you're right. It'll be difficult to see that within the Daredevil show. So. But.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, indeed. So next on the docket here, do you guys ever wonder, hey, why does it, with such critically acclaimed films like Morbius, why doesn't Sony have their own streaming service? Well, what's
Never
that?
thought it once. Never thought it once.
Yeah, never.
Oh, really?
Never thought about it.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways,
We're
I have
not all big fans of the Sony Spider-Verse like you.
Or
I just
any
want.
Sony verse. What has Sony created that's good?
Anyways,
Spider-Verse.
there might have been a reason why we don't see a Sony platform, a streaming platform, and we have from the CFO that they don't want one basically because their business model is quote unquote to the highest bidder.
Yeah. So
And
so
that-
they kind of tried to start one, I think, a couple of years ago, right? And then it just kind of went nowhere, and they didn't really commit to it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. There's like a Sony-owned platform or something.
Okay.
It was like I think it was on the PS3.
Yeah, it
That
was on the
a while
PlayStation
ago.
Network. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could watch. It was some comic book. I forgot what it was. I think it was like I want to say a Dark Horse comic book. I don't remember which one though.
But yeah, this is interesting because like I feel like this is the theme in the industry now. Now that like interest rates are going up and free, again, it's a side effect of like there's no longer cheap credit to just go and spend money on whatever. So networks are cutting back on the amount of stuff they're producing, but also potentially diversifying away from their exclusive streaming services because that was the thing just up until even just a couple of years ago, right? Like everyone's like, we're gonna have Disney Plus, we're gonna have HBO Max, we're gonna have Peacock, Paramount Plus, right? We're all gonna have our own exclusive things, and that's not working out. Some of these, I mean, what was it? Peacock had a loss of like $1 billion Q4 last year. So like, it sounds like maybe Sony had the right idea. And and we already know, right? Warner Brothers is going to be licensing some of their stuff. So like the Batman animated series from Bruce Timm and the director Reeves, right? That's going to Amazon. So there's going to be a Batman show on Amazon, which is a little weird. They've already ordered 2 seasons though. That's the one exception, I guess, right? Amazon and Apple, they have their own streaming services. They also just have so much money. They have so much goddamn money that they can just go ahead and keep spending money this as much as they want.
And yeah, HBO has some of the top content there is around as well, like WB.
Yeah, and they're going to keep the best stuff.
Creates great stuff. But so this makes sense why I think a couple months ago we talked about on our other podcast platform, the pre podcast, Legendary leaving HBO, Warner Brothers, and going to Sony because Sony's promising not to have a platform where stuff goes straight to without hitting the theaters. So that's a big money maker there too for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still salty that Glass Onion didn't get a real theatrical release. I think I haven't talked about it yet. I was in Las Vegas at a conference for the 1 week that movie was in theaters. And since Netflix doesn't report these kinds of numbers, we don't know exactly how much it made, but based on, data that is available, people estimated that it made an insane amount of money considering the limited release it had. And if they had actually done an actual proper wide release with the appropriate marketing, they could have had a blockbuster on their hands if they really wanted it. But Netflix just doesn't care. They just want content for their platform.
Because it's Netflix. Yep.
Yeah. And apparently that limited release only happens because Rian Johnson really pushed for it. And that's what he got. And he has said that it will be shown in theaters, but it'll be at independent theaters just, to show it for events. And that's really annoying to me because I like that movie a lot. And it feels like a movie that was almost designed to be seen in a theater. So yeah, maybe this is a good thing in the long run. Clearly movies are making money again. I mean, this isn't something we plan to talk about, but Creed 3 is making all the money. Apparently.
All the money.
So theaters are doing good. We've had a bit, Cocaine Bear made a lot of money on its tiny budget. So yeah, maybe there's a future where Netflix will actually put the next Knives Out mystery in theaters. Who knows? I hope.
They talked about it. I think there was an article that a couple of people in Netflix who decided to only do a week got moved around, not let go, but moved around because of it. And they do plan on doing more theatrical releases for a longer amount. Numbers did come out, and it was like 32 million, and that was just in one weekend.
For Glass Onion?
Yeah, because they don't do a week; they do the weekends only, I believe.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
how they
And
make
that-
the money, or the first weekend.
Dang,
And it was only
32
in like
million.
major markets too. It wasn't even like
Right.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if it was nationwide, they would have. I think they did calculations. They would have made like 400 million or something like that.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was a dry weekend too. So yeah, they could have killed it. You know what I mean? If more people knew.
Well, maybe they needed data, you know what I'm saying? And they saw how well it did in specific markets on a weekend. Man, 32 million in 2 or 3 days. That's incredible. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they would do a theatrical release for the third one,
I hope so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you had
It's
something
real
to
off
say.
topic. I don't want to go down that road.
Oh, okay.
Well,
All right.
before we move off of this, as an aside, are you guys excited by the way for this Batman Cape Crusader thing? Because I've heard nothing about it until this news came out, and I
didn't even know HBO passed on it, dude.
oh wow,
It's an animated movie
it's
No,
an
a
animated
show.
series.
2 seasons.
Yeah,
by J.J. Abrams. Huh? Well, I know
J.J.
J.J.
Abrams,
Abrams
Matt
was
Reeves,
given,
and
like,
Bruce Timm.
J.J. Abrams was given this huge contract, kind of like Adam Sandler got at Netflix, where he did like 10 movies and stuff like that.
That's right.
J.J. Abrams received the same thing to direct shows and content for HBO, and they found out that he was fleecing them. That they gave him like $800 million to do umpteen shows, and he had nothing ready. And this was 2 years ago. He had nothing.
Well,
And so they canceled one of his big shows they wanted him to do.
yeah,
And so they're holding him accountable for, I think, like half of what he promised.
Shame.
that's right. He did have other stuff, right? Yeah, that he was working on that has now been either canceled or he's shopping around elsewhere.
Right. Because they're just like, you want, I think for one of his shows, he wanted like $900 million to produce. And they're like, we already gave you $600 million.
That can't be true. $900 million.
No, I'm dead serious. They gave him money. They gave him this giant contract to do exclusive stuff for WB. And then he was like, oh, yeah, we want $900 million.
That's a bananas amount of money for a movie, much less a TV show.
Right. And so he's been shopping around for over a year now. I've not got any hits on it because that's what his budget is for this show.
All right. I'm going to have to look that up because I
Yes.
look, I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm just like 900 million. That is so much money. That cannot possibly be true. There is no.
Okay,
That's
maybe
insane.
not 900, but around it's above 500,000 for sure.
Okay.
Well, 500,000.
It's not a lot
500
to
million.
make
Sorry,
it.
500
All right. I was
million.
going to say, it's just like, that's a huge gap, bro.
Well, okay. So maybe closing the loop on this then, that's another element to this, right? Is that it sounds like they were going in this one direction over here at Warner Brothers with like Matt Reeves and Abrams, right? And all the other people involved in what was the DCU or DCEU or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. But now James Gunn is there, and it sounds like they work well with him. He works well with them. They like him, and he's running the show. And so all this other stuff has to go somewhere. Like the Batman was big enough that that's going to keep going, and they're going to make the Penguin show. But it sounds like this doesn't make the cut, right? Like this project. And potentially a lot of other J.J. Abrams stuff. Like, why do they need him if they've got James Gunn, who's proven not only that he delivers stuff people like, but he's like crazy productive and super fast. This guy churns out scripts. He makes movies. Actors love working with him.
Right.
And he manages to maintain a decent level of quality throughout all of it, right? He's kind of like a studio's dream come true in terms of creative talent. Potentially, we'll see how, the next few movies go, I guess. But yeah, I can see them just being like, yeah, we got this guy now. Like J.J. Abrams, we're not giving you $900 million to make one TV show.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams received this contract from WB way before Zaslav
Right.
became owner. So that was like part of that whole downfall, like how WB was just hemorrhaging money like crazy because of these contracts they're throwing out for these big names. And again, J.J. Abrams didn't have anything for them. So these are one of the first projects J.J. Abrams came out with. And this was like 3 years ago when he got that contract. So, I'm pretty sure Zaslav and Gunn are like, yeah, move along, sucker. Like, get out of here.
And how much did Peacemaker cost? Because it was pretty cheap as far as
That's a good question. I'll find out.
Because that's what has. Now I'm wondering, because that was like their most popular show ever. Like they took this third-rate character that no one ever heard of.
A no-name character. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know who Peacemaker was until they said Peacemaker, and I realized I had comic books of him that my dad bought.
Wow. Just sitting. Literally. Okay, so literally, you were one of the 12 people on the planet who actually had some comic books of Peacemaker in your vicinity. You didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, and his friend too. What's his friend's name again?
Vigilante.
Oh, yeah.
Vigilante. I have a bunch of Vigilante comic books too now.
Wow.
But Vigilante was like the Punisher for DC, and now he's like a joke.
That's right. I mean,
So I have to do a little more research because every time I'm Googling how much did Peacemaker cost, it's telling me how much actual Peacemakers cost.
Peacemaker?
Like a pacemaker.
Oh,
A
pacemakers.
pacemaker. Yeah.
All right.
Like,
We
'cause
can
they
move on.
think I'm
We
making-
don't need to hold up for that.
Okay.
I was just curious. It's fine.
All
We
right.
can move on.
Okay. Well, in the midst of financial turmoil that we're experiencing, with certain banks not being banks and certain people that are embezzling funds and playing League of Legends rather than doing their job. Jordan, you're right. I bet studios have to cut costs.
Yeah.
And so one particular way is we're seeing actually a growing audioverse with DC Comics. And you brought this up to us, Jordan. Give us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this because I've been listening to the Batman audio adventures on HBO Max. It's on Spotify. They also have it on HBO Max. If you watch on HBO Max, I don't know if they do this on Spotify. They've got like an old-timey animated radio graphic that plays, and there's like effects and stuff while the show happens. It's really cool. Anyway, yeah, I've been listening to that. They've got like 2 seasons on there, and it's been fun. It's a bunch of like Saturday Night Live people and character actors. Right. This is actually a big deal for me because like as much as like I finally got around to seeing Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and man, am I dumb for not seeing that in theaters, because that is an amazing goddamn movie.
It's like, so good.
What the hell? It's the 3rd movie in a spin-off series based on Shrek.
Yeah.
How is it so good? But watching it did remind me, like, oh, all these actors, like, I like all the actors. I think they do a great job. But it also reminded me, like, yeah, they do not put voice actors in movies anymore, right? They still exist. They do animated television, right? But this show is chock full of, like, great talent, TV talent, Saturday Night Live talent, comedians, actors. Brent Spiner is the Joker. He's great.
That's Data, by the way.
Data from Star Trek.
Yeah, The Next Generation.
Didn't even recognize him when I first started listening to it. And yeah, I love it. And you can see why they want to do this, because it's probably super, super, super cheap to make, right? Like they get these people in, they can record a whole season in like a couple weeks probably. There is no visual effects or like voice talent just comes in and they take a really small paycheck to perform for a day or two to record everything, right? And so yeah, I'm glad to see that this is going to be kind of its own little audioverse, as they call it. Yeah, I'm excited for this. And if you haven't listened to these, give them a shot. It's cool because not only do you get to hear a lot of great performers give great performances that they would almost never get a chance to do on screen, but also they do things like intercut the drama with like Gotham commercials, like radio commercials for like local businesses. You hear like the Gotham News channel. And it's just, I love that stuff. I've always kind of been obsessed with like world building, and Gotham City is one of the great fictional places that's ever been invented, right? So yeah, no, I just think this is awesome, and I'm glad to see it as other shared universes either fall by the wayside, crash and burn, or go stale. We haven't talked about Marvel in a bit, but not really exciting stuff over there right now. This is just a fun thing that's low stakes and is fun to listen to while you do the dishes. And yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It reminds me of growing up when I was probably like 8 or 9. My dad used to turn on the radio and they'd like have reruns of, Batman audio or Batman radio.
Really?
and it was like the 1976 Batman radio, like
Oh, wow.
it was actually really cool.
Wow.
And so it was Sunday evenings, we go for a drive, and he put it on. We just hang out, go to the movies or go grab a donut, go rest and eat, and it was really fun. So this is really cool. I want to check it out.
Yeah, I've listened to the first 2 or 3 episodes of the Batman one, and I thought it was great. I thought it was creative. I thought it was clever. And there's things that you pointed out that I'll go back to just to pay attention of. Like there was I guess there's a commercial for clowns, and and how each and every episode they're desperate and they're providing more discounts because of just a maniacal clown is just wreaking havoc, and that's like affecting the clown market.
Yeah. There's I
think that's hilarious.
He's just a regular clown and he can't get any business because of the Joker. No one trusts clowns anymore. Yeah. It's just so sad.
So it goes to show, I think you can tell there's been a lot of thought behind it. It's not just simply the exec saying, okay, we need to figure out how we could use the property and do it in a more affordable manner. It's like the idea is, okay, let's do it affordably, but provide quality writing behind it, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, because this started, a couple of years ago. Started mid-pandemic when the money was still flowing in, so it's not like they were desperate at the time. And it feels like a passion project. I don't know exactly how that got started, but it definitely has that vibe, right? Like the people doing this wanted to do it. Kind of like it reminds me a little bit of the I don't know if you've seen the Looney Tunes cartoons, the new ones on HBO Max, that new series. That was a passion project. This animator who just loved the old cartoons, he convinced Warner Brothers to let him do it. And it's the best the Looney Tunes have been since the 60s, right? Like, nice. So it's always great when you have people doing this that just like really, really, really want to do it because they love it. so yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Some good news amidst the carnage.
Indeed. And let's get into more speculating here, but so it seems like what studios are doing, they're trying to provide or invest more quality than quantity, right? And we talk about Warner Brothers and Discovery, but we hear a lot of things happening with Disney, with the transition of leadership going back to Iger and how he's cutting costs, but he wants to bring that value back of quality over quantity. And lo and behold, there has been some news in regards to Star Wars stuff and how there's certain projects that have been promised and there's been expectations of them coming sooner than later, but those projects have been shelved. For example, Kevin Feige's project, as well as Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins and all that. So what do you guys think about this?
Great question, Simon. I'm glad you asked that. I have an answer for you.
Oh, do you?
I'm disappointed.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're disappointed.
I don't know. I was maybe looking forward to some fresh ideas, especially from Taika Waititi. Waititi? Taika Waititi.
But Waikiki is an island.
I mean, it could be his name. I don't think he'd mind. And just see his take on a Star Wars story and maybe character. He did great in Ragnarok. I'm not going to hold him to Love and Thunder too much.
You didn't love that movie?
You didn't love it either, dude. I think
there were some moments.
There were some funny moments.
You didn't think that was cinema?
I think overall, I think they just gave him so much freedom to do what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he just made the ultimate
Taika Waititi movie.
I would say Taika Waititi because it wasn't his property. It's not his dream. So he just made the best. His dream vision of Thor, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him do great work with his own characters. What's that one where he's Hitler and they're Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah.
Dude, that's so freaking hilarious, right? But the story was good too. So I know he could tell a great story. And we give him just free reins to do a fresh Star Wars, make up his own characters. I mean, I was intrigued to see that. And Kevin Feige, I don't know, man. I'm not disappointed, but I think he was told to stay in his lane. Like, you
Yep.
got a lot of work
Exactly.
going right now into Marvel.
Mhm.
Like, it's steering off the track. Get it back on track, and then maybe we can look at Star Wars again. Patty Jenkins, I really wasn't looking forward to Rogue Squadron, to be honest with you. And especially after Wonder Woman 2, I was a little disappointed. Like, it was a huge fall off. Like,
A little
Wonder
disappointed.
Woman 1 was amazing. And then 2 came out of nowhere and just was the lamest. And she had a great cast.
Yeah.
And it was just lame. But that's
Great
my take,
cast.
Simon. Great question. Thank you for asking me.
How about you, Jordan? You have any thoughts?
I don't have strong feelings about this. I mean, it's probably fine. Like, I don't think any of these people, well, look, I don't think any of these people are going to bring the right energy to Star Wars personally. So Taika Waititi, right? He's always been a little hit or miss for me. He has his thing, his weird indie movie thing, right? That he's good at. I think Ragnarok was a fluke. I think he did something very weird, and it landed because it was so weird, right? But you can't just repeat that over and over, and I think that's why Love and Thunder didn't really hit the way people wanted it to, is they were going back expecting the same feelings they got from the last movie, but like doing the same thing again doesn't repeat the feelings. It's, if anything, it's just diminishing returns, right? And I think you're right. He wasn't comfortable in it because he would never be comfortable in the MCU. That's why I say I think the first one was a bit of a fluke, because it's fine to have a director come in like that and do one movie, but the MCU is not a indie director playground, right? It's a long form story essentially, and the directors who do best there often aren't even like what's the name, the two guys who went to Netflix and now they're just making one.
Russo brothers?
Benioff and Weiss?
The Russo brothers. Sorry. Yeah, they're just making one lame, forgettable movie after another over there, right? And I think the reality is, like, you can take a director like that and they can do a really good job telling chapters in this larger story, right? But then you send them off to do stuff on their own, and it's just like, oh, it's an action movie starring this guy.
Jordan, can you tell us how you really feel about
What, have you seen them?
just one lame movie after another.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoyed Gray Man. Gray Man was a very
Gray Man was fun.
I thought
That
it was
movie
fun.
put me to sleep. I didn't even finish it. It's one of the most. It's just so workmanlike. It's like, oh, this is two guys who've seen a lot of movies and they know how to make a movie, but they have nothing to say, right? There's like nothing there. This is just hollow. This is two guys trying to be Michael Bay, but they lack even a thimble of Bay's style, right? And so the movies look bad and they're boring to look at overall. And they're just boring. They're just really boring.
No. I disagree.
I disagree with you 100%, but your take is so hilarious, dude.
Just what am I supposed to say? They literally put him in a gray sweatsuit in that movie. Yeah,
That's fine.
What thought process gets you from we've got one of the best A-list actors in the world right now. We're gonna put him in this movie called The Gray Man, and we're gonna put him in a gray sweatsuit because that's what people want to see. Gray sweatsuits. So exciting. Just and then he's like running on a bus and it's like falling. What is that? It's the only good thing about that movie is Captain America's mustache. That's the only exciting thing that happens in that movie. He's clearly having fun. He's clearly having a lot of fun.
I felt
But all it does is highlight how boring the rest of it is.
No, dude.
I disagree, dude. That was such a fun movie. I had so much fun watching
That movie is like Ambien, and but yeah, like those directors can work well because they can just slot into the director chair and do their job, and they don't have their own vision, right, to bring to life. I don't think Taika Waititi. I mean, he might make a good Star Wars movie, but for the same reason, I don't think he would fit into that universe as well. And I think we can see some of the most successful stuff out of Star Wars lately has been from more, for lack of a better term, more serious filmmakers, right? Like Andor doesn't try to be interesting or different in any particular way. It just really buckles down on telling the best story it can, the best way it can.
Right.
The Mandalorian kind of does the same thing. And while they definitely do have style, because the people behind them definitely do have like a vision, they're building a vision out of Star Wars. They're not trying to impose their own aesthetic onto Star Wars, right? I think we saw someone try to do that with Book of Boba Fett. Robert Rodriguez tried to do his machete style on Star Wars, his B-movie cheeseball aesthetic, and it works in his movies, but in Star Wars, it gave us cyberpunk teens on scooters, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with this, and I think if anything, they should be looking for other people who kind of understand, more serious storytelling that can really connect with the mythical underpinnings of what Star Wars is, right? And I don't know that Taika Waititi can do that. Maybe he could. I don't know, but it's not the first name that would come to my mind.
So aside from your scathing remarks of the Russo brothers' Gray Man, you have a point with this and the Star Wars take, and I appreciate it because I was too slightly disappointed hearing this, but as I think back of why I wanted these individuals to direct Star Wars is because, for example, for Kevin Feige, I want to see what he does with Star Wars because of what he did with Marvel. You know what I'm saying? With Taika Waititi, because of his eclectic style, I want to see that in a Star Wars movie. Patty Jenkins is probably the only one where it's just like, I actually really like the Rogue Squadron property. I read the books. I enjoy it very much, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this. But from just putting 2 and 2 together or just filling the gaps, it seems like she didn't even have a really, not a good script, or she didn't even have a script in general. They were just pitched the idea to her, like, okay, let's do it. Right. And so, all to say, my reasons why I wanted these individuals is to direct or guide or produce is because what they did with previous projects into Star Wars. You're right. I don't know if they would appreciate Star Wars the way that Star Wars should be appreciated. And so that's something.
It's not about appreciating. It's just about having the skill to tell a Star Wars
story. Sure.
I'm sure Taika Waititi loves Star Wars. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying it's a mythical mode of a romantic mode of storytelling that is, I think, very difficult for directors today to do. Here's the way I would put it. I suspect that most people, including creatives, don't actually understand Star Wars very well from a genre perspective, and so don't necessarily have the right instincts to tell a story. Right now, some do. Mandalorian is like Exhibit A. Like, that's a show that gets it, that gets Star Wars like really well, right? And Andor veers off a little bit, but still stays connected to like those roots. So yeah, it's not about appreciating it. It's just, can you do that sort of work, right? Like I appreciate a good bowl of ramen. That doesn't mean I'm going to be good at making ramen, right? Plus, they have such a stable of directors kind of in their pocket already. Like, I'd like to see Bryce Dallas Howard make Star Wars, right? I'd like to see her Star Wars series or movie. So like, to me, this is not a huge loss, really, and it's fine, And you're right. The MCU needs a little bit of course correction. So just let Kevin Feige do that.
Yep, exactly. And like, again, they say shelved. It's not a permanent toss away. You know what I'm saying? We might just see these later on, but farther along down the road. But in regards to appreciating IP, one particular one is going to come back up, and it is Mutant Mayhem. So I brought this one up, and I'd like to initiate the conversation. I thought the trailer looks amazing. And it's brought to us by the animation company Illumination, which I believe Sony owns. It looks incredible. I love how they trick your mind with the CG, and it kind of looks like stop motion and all that.
Looks like it's amazing. Drawn with like crayons and spray paint. Exactly. Yeah. It has a really interesting feel. It looks great, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, same here. I obviously, so I'm a longtime Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, but not like Like it was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid, right? But it's one of those properties I grew out of pretty early because like go back and watch those cartoons. They are terrible. They're so bad, and so cheaply made. And I've never really cared about it since I was a kid because nothing that's happened with it has been all that exciting, especially when they did the Michael Bay produced movies where it's just like giant CG turtles and it kind of looks like a Michael Bay movie.
Yep.
This movie is exactly what I would hope for. Like if you ask me like what's your dream Ninja Turtles product, this is it, right? It's an all ages fun thing. It leans into one of the cool things about Ninja Turtles is they do have like this very urban sort of aesthetic, right? And I think at its best they lean into that, right? It's junk culture, it's hip hop, it's urban, it's fun. It doesn't take itself very seriously. They're talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? In the trailer, it looks like we've got Bebop and Rocksteady, a bunch of other characters, right? And I think they need to lean into that. And so, yeah, I'm actually excited for this. And I didn't think I would be. Well, like, it's like they reboot stuff so often now. So I'm like, oh, they're rebooting it again because, of course, they're going to try. But, like, this looks good. And it doesn't look like just a straight ripoff, by the way, of Spider-Verse, which is what I would have expected, right? It does have, like I said, it looks a little bit grimier and grungier, and I think that the way that it looks like it was done with like pastel or crayon, right, definitely gives it its own look and feel. And also the turtles are teenagers, like they're kids.
Yeah, that's right.
They look and sound and act like kids.
How very novel.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
the cast is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the 4 main characters of the Ninja Turtles, and they're no-name kids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any of them.
Is this like their
Brandon
first
Moon,
role for all of them or something?
Micah Abbey, Nicholas Cantu, Shaman Brown. But everyone else, like Seth Rogen, Jackie Chan, John Cena, Post Malone, the rapper / singer, Ice Cube,
Paul Rudd,
Giancarlo Espinosa, Rose Byrne, Paul Rudd, Hannibal Buress, Maya Rudolph.
Wow.
I mean, that's a crazy cast.
It's a good cast. And these are all people with proven comedic talent. So it tells you what kind of vibe they're going for here. You know?
Yep. And apparently
and Jordan,
they're all
a surprise character. Ayo Edruby, Ed Bridri, the girl from Bear, the one, the sous chef. She's in it. She's April O'Neil.
Okay, that's
nice.
Dope. That's
okay.
dope.
Yeah,
she was
crazy,
like my favorite.
Right?
She was my favorite member of that cast.
Yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this. I think this cast is huge. So many characters, and that's my only worry is that they're really jam packing with all these my favorite characters from the Ninja Turtles lore, and that it just might be too much. You know what I mean? You got Mondo Gecko. He's being played by Paul Rudd. Leatherhead is being played by Rose Brine. So yeah, I Rocksteady is John Cena.
That's gonna be great.
Bebop is Seth Rogen. So,
I mean, it depends on how they're setting this up. I mean, it gives me the impression that, I mean, it's called Mutant Mayhem. It gives me the impression that there's going to be this is an established world where all these characters already exist and are out there doing stuff. They're not going to be introduced like 2 or 3 movies in as brand new things in the Turtles universe. Instead, they're there, and this is the universe the Turtles are growing into, right? As they become man turtles. I don't know what you would call them.
Adult turtles.
Adult mutant ninja turtles.
Yep, exactly. Or just merely mutant ninja turtles.
Okay, yeah, they're just mutant ninja turtles now when they get to that point.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of characters, but like I don't mind it if this is like if they're not going to spend a ton of time introducing them all, if they're going to be there, right? They're just there as established parts of the world. It's also interesting that I guess Seth Rogen has decided to really focus on making all ages content because he's doing he's producing the Darkwing Duck revival.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
he self-proclaimed as a what is it? a forever teenager or something like that.
I mean,
in the trailer.
that makes sense.
So there you go. So
Yeah.
all right. Speaking of forever teenagers, I had no idea how to transition to this, but this is a small obvi. We all knew it. I guess it's just been confirmed by Tom King that James Gunn is directing Superman Legacy. So, #duh.
Yeah. So this is, I think we're talking about this mainly because of how funny it is that as this interview got pulled down, right, after it went up, because like, oh, we weren't supposed to tell people that.
Right.
But it's like everybody, I assumed he was. I didn't even know this was supposed to be like a secret. I just thought
you're writing it, you're for sure directing it.
You know, exactly.
The premiere introduction of his new movie universe, and James Gunn is going to hand it off to someone else. No,
Right.
Ever do that?
It doesn't help that they pulled the video down either.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, well okay, then we were totally wrong. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is news, but not
not
breaking news. Not, oh my gosh, I've never seen this happening. It's not like the old school Marvel news. You know what I mean? Where you like, what the heck? They got Moon Knight, She-Hulk coming out.
I know.
What the heck?
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, we knew.
I mean, if anything, I think this is just a preview of what we can expect from the next few years, because we've got all these Tom King is a comic book writer,
Right?
And I think he's gotten to the point now where you can call him legendary. Like, there's at least 4 or 5 comics he's done that are just all time great stuff, right? There's a few others I'm not so sure about, but there's a few in there that are just like incredible.
I mean, Jim Lee had some flops too, you
Yeah,
Wildcats.
Yeah, Jim Lee did the art for All-Star Batman and Robin. Which didn't go so well. So, but I just think it's funny because great, we just took, because he's got other comic book writers in there. It sounds like Grant Morrison might be relatively involved, and I think this is what you can expect when you put a bunch of comic book nerds in front of a camera, and trust them with all kinds of information. Just gonna
expected.
Actually, you know what? That's actually, you know what? I can't make that excuse for Tom King, because he was in the CIA. He should know
Tom King?
better. Yeah. Did you
Maybe
not know
that's
that?
why they fired him.
because he lets information like this.
Yeah,
slip.
he just lets everything out. It's just like,
he was the leaker. He's leaked everything in his agenda.
He's just never listening. He's just doodling and pictures in his notebook all the time.
Oh man. So yeah, there you go. Thanks, Tom King, for bringing it up. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Is Tom King the artist that drew? Is he an artist or a writer?
He's a writer.
Oh, okay. Remember, it was like a year or two ago where someone drew like Batman's dick on a comic book.
Yeah, that wasn't him. That was a complete.
Okay.
That was one of the Black Label series. It wasn't a Tom King. Yeah. That's a collector's item now, right? Because I think the subsequent printings, they removed it.
Yeah, they took it off the print. Yeah.
Well, speaking about dick energy, Elon Musk.
What are these? These segues are amazing, Simon.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're
But Elon Musk did something naughty recently, and he just basically made fun of a super nice Icelandic guy. I did not hear about this. Until Jordan brought it up, and he has some thoughts. He has a lot of thoughts on this, so I'm gonna give it to him.
I wanted to just throw this in here. This is definitely more tech news than anything else. But so there's a guy. Is that the intro for the segment now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, the employee in question is a guy named Holly. I don't know. It's Icelandic. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've been following this guy on Twitter for a while. So I knew who he was when the story broke. And I'm kind of a fan of his, as much as you can be a fan of like a programmer. The thing about him is he has muscular dystrophy, and he was able. as he was growing up, he like lost the use of his legs and his lower body, and then slowly started to lose the use of his upper body, right? And so he built a really successful career as a software developer. He has a company he founded, a contracting company that's worked with everybody from like Apple to Twitter to everybody, right? Hugely successful. And a couple of years ago, it was pretty recent. He made the decision to sell that company to Twitter for $100 million, right? The reason he did that, though, is because his dystrophy was progressing to the point where it was getting hard for him to type. So he didn't really want to, but he decided that it was probably for the best, right, if he did it at that time. And part of the deal, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, part of the deal when he made the sale was to not take the money as a lump sum. So instead of just taking $100 million up front and walking away and be like, great, I just made a bunch of money, he wanted to take it as a salary. He wanted to take it as a salary because he wanted to make sure he was taxed effectively. Because his so there's the thing. He lives in Iceland. Yep. And he says, look, the social services in Iceland are so good. Like, they have like freaking free healthcare, and I don't know, they probably hand out candy bars to everybody on Sunday.
Those Scandinavian countries,
man, they got it all. And he's like, look, that social safety net is what allowed him as a young man growing up with this debilitating disease, right, to be successful. So he was taking it as a salary instead of all at once, and he became an employee of Twitter. And it sounds like what happened is he was fired. So this has been the story now, right? Like, people at Twitter just get fired. No one tells them. They just lose access to everything. And so after like a week of trying to regain access and contact people through the right channels, he just tweeted at Elon Musk like, hey, 9 days ago, the access to my work computer was cut. And then he tweeted out to Elon Musk saying, hey, what's going on? And Elon Musk, well, I don't know how else to say it. You're right, Simon. He decided to be a dick about it. And
see?
So here's what he tweeted back. He's like, he said, I can't help you. The reality is that this guy, who is independently wealthy, did no actual work, claimed as his excuse that he had a disability that prevented him from typing, yet was simultaneously tweeting up a storm. Can't say I have a lot of respect for that. After he tweeted that, Halley responded with a very long Twitter thread where he explained in detail the situation. And then like a day or so later, somebody inside Twitter must have explained to Elon Musk what he did. And so he went back on Twitter and apologized profusely. That when he says he's independently wealthy, it's because he sold his company to Twitter. And he does have a debilitating disease that prevents him from typing. And the work he was doing was largely management advisory work, right? It turns out that because he was taking the $100 million as a salary, if they fire him, they have to pay him the rest of that $100 million immediately. Which Twitter, I mean, obviously they're not in any position to be paying any money to anybody. So yeah, this guy, who is universally beloved by the entire development community, and who has shown incredible bravery in the face of a debilitating disease, also moved back to his hometown in Iceland and opened a restaurant named after his mother in her honor, claiming that she made him the man who he is and she was the best mother in the world. Elon Musk basically, shat all over this guy, and now might be on the hook for the $100 million that they need to pay him because they fired him. It also sounds like because Elon Musk went on Twitter and explained that and said that he claimed he had a disease that might have been covered by what's the law around medical information? So you're not allowed to. Oh,
you're not allowed to disclose it.
Yeah.
HIPAA.
Yeah, that might be a HIPAA violation. That you're not supposed to be sharing that information publicly. So yeah, I just wanted to just put this on the podcast just for posterity. Just be like, Halley is kind of a legend, is a great guy, inspiration to me, probably a lot of other people. Elon Musk is a dick, and he deserves what he gets, as far as I'm concerned. Because yeah, it's just stunning. If you want to, you can look up the Twitter thread. It's amazing. Halley also, in his response, just eviscerates Elon Musk. You can read it for yourself if you want to see it, but he does it in like the most polite way possible.
Because he's Icelandic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
very polite. Uh, so yeah. No major news. I just wanted to say that because I have a platform and I can do that now. And I hope this guy gets 100 million and maybe even more for wrongful termination or something, and makes just $1 bajillion and gets to go retire in Iceland and run his restaurant.
Named after his mother.
Named after his mother. And, spend time with his family and just continue being a great guy. So.
Yeah, I had no clue about any of this. I was so oblivious to what was going on. When you guys talked about the other night, I was like, what? Is this a story really you're talking about? So
it's barely a story.
Yeah, it's intriguing. I'm glad to hear Elon Musk was man enough to apologize and not
did he
double
though?
down like
Yeah,
Did
I don't
he
know
really
if
though?
man enough is the word I would use. I think someone explained that he was in legal jeopardy.
Okay, but I think people like Trump or other people with those kind of characters would have doubled down, and probably insulted him more. But yeah, good for Elon Musk.
I mean, so
my
would
guy.
Elon Musk.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Well,
You like Elon?
Elon Musk would have
like
doubled down if he was able to, because he's done that before, right? Like, there's that. Was the he accused that was the divers who were saving those trapped miners or something. He accused him of being a pedophile or something, and then just and has refused to back off from that, right? Like, he just has held to that ever since. So.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot about Elon I don't know.
Yeah, he's trash, as far as I'm concerned. I don't talk about it a lot because I don't really care. I don't know him personally, but man, this just got under my skin. This is just.
That was it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was saying, could Elon Musk have just I say this, this was my previous thought, just to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, is oh, did he really know? But then when you saw his texts or when you saw his tweets, it's just that's a bit insensitive and that's kind of scathing. I thought maybe because he's running everything, he has so much on his plate with Tesla, this and all that, right? It's oh no, just fire the guy. He didn't even know who this person is. But according to what you were saying about him being just this great computer scientist and programmer, it's this is his lane. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk's lane as well, right? He should have known who Holly Thorleifson was, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. He should, if he really was familiar, he would. I mean, here's the thing: Elon Musk likes to present himself as being a really savvy, smart guy, but I don't think he actually, personally, I don't think he actually is. I don't think he understands anything about software development. I mean, well, I don't think that. Wow. He's demonstrated that he doesn't, right?
Oh, okay.
This whole Twitter fiasco, he's done this over and over again. He's gone into public forums and shown that he just does not understand how software development works, right? Multiple engineers and former engineers of Twitter have called him out on this. He also doesn't run any of these companies. I think that's something that's come up a few times. Obviously, he doesn't run SpaceX. I mean, he might be he has a title, but he's not.
He just oversees it, or he puts his name on it.
I forget the guy's name, but the guy who actually came up with the idea and brought it to Musk, right, to fund it, is I think the one who primarily actually runs the company. So I don't know though. It's just. This is one of those things where I always kind of just roll my eyes at Musk news, but this one, I'm just, dude, this guy, he immediately just goes on the offensive with this guy without even verifying any of the information.
Right.
Without understanding the situation at all. Yeah. It just immediately starts shit talking.
And that's something that he should, that's something that Musk should consider as an L. He should have known this.
Yeah. Well, here's another way to put it. When you're a chief executive, your entire job, is having the best information, understanding the situation, so you can make the best decision. Because that's basically what you do at that level, right? Making decisions. And this, he did not do that. He just jumped the gun immediately. And when you're at that level, I don't think there's any excuse for that. That should just not happen. Otherwise, how the hell are you even at that level? How do you even get there if you're not able to just fulfill the basic requirements of the job, So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So one could say that Holly hopefully I pronounce his name right, but because I think his last name is awesome. Holly Thorleifson
Right.
has the bigger dick energy than Elon Musk. But
I
with
wouldn't
that,
have put it that way, but I guess yeah, we'll
with
we'll
that,
finish off the story.
yes, I have concluded my segment with of word on the street, aka Jive Talk, aka rumors that we've heard this past week, and off to you, Joshua. You're muted. Way to go.
Can you hear us?
You're muted.
Thank you.
How do
I
you?
appreciate that. This next segment is brought to you by Jordan and myself. We came up with this little fun segment for you guys, as Simon was really late that day. And the fun we're gonna have, obviously, Jordan. Did you love Poker Face?
I mean, yeah, I love Poker Face.
I enjoyed Poker Face as well. Simon, did you even watch an episode of Poker Face?
I watched like a tenth of one.
Oh
no, are you kidding me? I watched all of it. I
God.
watched all of it.
See, it's so good. It actually got Simon to watch the whole thing.
So very good. It was very good.
So the fun thing about Poker Face was that every episode had a guest star, and after hearing the star of the show and also Ryan Johnson, right? Not Rain, right? Right.
You can call him Rain if you want. I mean, I don't think he cares.
Rain Johnson.
He's got that Netflix money, man. He's good.
Yeah. And the Peacock money now, dude. I bet they shelled off a lot of money for season 2.
Yeah.
After we heard Ryan Johnson and I forgot her name.
Natasha Lyonne
speak about next season and the guests they want to bring on. We want to actually rate this season's special guests. Who are our top? What was our favorite episode that had the guest star? And then from there, we're going to kind of rank our guest stars, the popularity, right? The height of their popularity, and kind of what they're known for. And then, in our opinion, give who the best special guest was this season.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of give our own who you'd like to see next season.
So before we get into it, I think it's worth noting they said they really want to step it up with the guest stars next season, which we thought was funny. It's like, I feel like if I was a guest star, this would be like, oh, okay. I guess, all right, I guess I'm just pretty good. Not really, right? Yeah, not an A-lister.
What a dick, that Ryan Johnson.
But I think the idea here is to give some of these people their due. Because rating the episodes would be tough because they're pretty different. You know, there's a fair amount of variety, and rating the guest stars though, that's the real question here, right? And especially if you ever go back and watch like Murder, She Wrote or Columbo or something, like so much of those shows is like, oh my God, it's that person. You know, like, oh my God, it's Johnny Cash. He's the murderer this week. So do we have the list up? Are we ready to?
It's good. We're good to go, guys.
Ready to go. All right.
Yeah. So, I was gonna list every single person's top, piece of work and year, but then there's just people I do not know, like Danielle McDonald. Like I don't know who that is.
Well, we don't need to. If we can't think of anything, then I think that also says something.
Right.
I mean, nothing against Danielle McDonald. I don't know who that is either.
Right.
But
nothing against her. It's just.
So let's.
If we put your name next to Adrian Brody, we're like, I know who Adrian Brody is.
Yeah, let's have this disclaimer. This is nothing personal against anyone on this list. I'm sure they're all wonderful people. We're just going to rank you from best to worst.
Yeah, we're gonna objectify you.
But it's nothing personal. It's nothing.
Scrutinize personal. You for just not who you are, but just your work.
And look,
what you've done.
Some of these people may be their future A-listers. We don't know.
Exactly. A lot of young people in here.
Yeah,
a lot of young people.
So how do we want to do this? Do you want to just go from top to bottom and just like start calling it out, or what's our procedure for going through this list?
I would say, what is your favorite guest show so far?
Like episode?
We'll go from there. Yeah, from any episode.
Oh,
Yeah, that's hard, man.
well, when you say favorite, you mean like the best guests, or the one that was like made the best use of them? That's tough.
Your favorite show, and then was it what guest was it? I
you mean
guess.
your favorite episode?
Yeah, favorite episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite episode.
All right, I'll start. So, Exit Stage Death is probably my favorite. I don't know that it's the best of them all, but as a standalone, because honestly, I thought the first and last episodes were pretty stellar, right? But they also aren't like just completely standalone episodes. Exit Stage Death is very self-contained, and it's got Tim Meadows, right? Who's great, and Tim Meadows and Ellen Barkin are both great together. And then it's got Jamila Jamil, who was on New Girl, right? No,
No, she
The-
was.
The Good
right
Place.
The Good
I think
Place,
she was-
that's right.
She was in The Good
Yeah.
Place. I don't know what she did before that though, but yeah, she was in The Good
I'm thinking
Place.
of the other actress with the haircut, because they both have the same haircut. But yeah, and in kind of a bit of stunt casting, because she's not in it that much. Like a few minutes into the show, she dies horribly. There's like a giant pool of blood. But I like this one because I think you get the actors get a lot of opportunities to sort of bounce off each other. I genuinely got taken in by the opening. I was like, the idea that they're both the murderers and they're trying to murder each other is interesting enough that it would have worked for me if that was the episode, if that's really what it was about. And then the revelation that they were actually working together and they actually meant to kill Jamila Jamil's character was like a second twist, just like a minute after the other twist, right? And then watching them, the whole thing play out while they're trying to do the play on stage at the same time. And like the actors are so obsessed with the play and like their public image that they're willing to sit there and risk going to jail because they got to finish the play.
Right. Yep. Yep.
And then Natasha Lyonne sort of like poking her hand through the stage windows and stuff. And that episode is crazy. And yeah, but I'd say Ellen Barkin and Tim Meadows together are just fantastic. And it's also the most fun. Like, it's a shocking opening, but then the rest of it is pretty much a comedy, especially towards the end when they realize she's got him and they're going to jail. The cops will be there in like 10 minutes. Instead of deciding to run, they're like, we're going to go out on the stage and we're gonna give the performance of our lives, and cut to Tim Meadows ripping his shirt off, right? And be like, yeah, right? And it was great. It was my favorite episode, and I think it made the best use of its guest stars. I don't know if those are like the biggest stars, but it made the best use of the ones that it had.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna ramble a little bit. All right. So my favorite episode is Time of the Monkey. But their guest stars, I really don't know them, and they really didn't do it for me. It was just the fight scene that was amazing.
So let's stop there for a second. So when you say your favorite episode of Time of the Monkey, it has nothing to do with the plot or the setting or it's just the fight scene at the end.
No, it was just the most different episode out of all the episodes that I've seen at that time.
Okay.
Right? Because all of them you kind of had like there was a murder and she solves it. This one she became best friends with the murderer, and you know she actually physically fought them, and one had no legs, the other one was like this hippie murderers, and they were gonna kill kids. It was just nuts. Every single from point A to point B, and you kind of like start liking them, and then you're like, oh, these are horrible people. And then she like gets beat up. It was just a crazy episode altogether, and it was fun. But
the fight
as far as guests, I didn't know who they were.
Well, I mean, come on.
Okay,
you Esapatha Merkerson, you've seen her on like Law and Order, right?
Sure, but I didn't watch Law and Order. Like,
okay,
I don't know her. She's on this list of people. She's like one of the bottom 10.
Wow.
I think personally.
She was like one of the few people I just immediately recognized, but I have seen like almost every episode of Law and Order. So
okay, yeah, not me. I've never watched an episode Law and Order.
I have an unhealthy relationship to television, so that gives me an advantage in this.
But I did go through her resume, and she's been in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Never a main character, so that's why. For me, she's on lower on the list. But that's not what you're asking me. Anyways, again, like I said, I'm a ramble. I'm closing it up right now. My favorite special guest is Rest in Metal, the episode before. I know that's Simon's favorite actress because she's always nude and naked.
She's not.
And
I mean, she does admittedly do a lot of.
She does a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to think of one where she's not, but so all right.
I mean,
but that was such a good episode.
Yeah.
It was like you, as the episode starts, you really start finding this one character annoying, and he's like, "Oh, he's another druggie," and then once Leon's character comes in, you actually start liking the character a lot. The one she's talking to, you kind of feel bad for what happened.
Nicholas Cirillo, right? Is the
yeah. And the whole episode just flipped on its head, and it really made me like the guy. And I didn't think I was going to like the guy at all. So it was a great episode. But yeah, so that was my episode.
Yeah,
with special guest.
All right, so I was gonna say Tim Meadows and Ellen Barkin as well, but I don't want to be redundant and just copy Jordan at this moment. And so I will have to say, actually, my favorite episode with my favorite special guest was actually a Future of the Sport with Tim Blake Nelson. I thought that was a great. I love that episode. I thought it was and the reason why I love that episode is because it caught me off guard. Like I had this assumption of who this, I had the assumption that, oh, okay, Tim Blake Nelson is going to be the killer, right? And then it's the young buck who actually is, and it's just this back and forth. And then and then the ultimate twist of things is Tim Blake Nelson's character actually repents, where it's just like, no, I screwed up. I did something bad. I did something wrong. It's like, oh crap. So what's gonna happen? And then at the end, the young driver who has the sponsorship now and all that, I think Natasha Lyonne's character's name is Charlie.
Yep.
So like Charlie goes to him, has like a one-on-one. It's like, hey, you think you might have gotten scot-free from this, but like now you'll always think about this. And then he gets the shakes. And so he has that curse upon himself now. I thought that was great. I think Tim Blake Nelson did a wonderful job in this. And that one was my favorite. Tim
Blake Nelson's always good in everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not a bad choice at all. That episode was weird for me because like I remember finding the ending a little bit unsatisfying when I first saw it.
Oh, really?
But it does. I do think there is a certain poetry in that. Like, yeah, it opens with this guy having the shakes. And he wants to win so bad he's willing to murder somebody to win. And then you find out that the intended victim is just as willing to murder somebody to win. And now he ends up in the driver's seat with the shakes, and it's just this cycle of like endless toxic masculinity and violence and murder. So yeah, you're right. That is kind of an interesting episode. And I just wish it's definitely okay. I actually think it's probably a pretty good idea. They have at least one episode where the killer technically gets away, right?
Yeah.
That's something that, these kinds of procedurals like almost never do, right? Where the killer just like gets off. So I got to tip my hat to that, and I hope they keep doing it. Even if I felt this first take on it was a little bit weak in the end, but also, I don't know. I feel like my feelings on it will change if I go back and watch it in a year, So.
You're muted. Joshua, you're muted.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Really killed my momentum. This is one show that I wouldn't mind if they took their time and maybe did a year and a half later just to build good stories again. Because like none of these episodes really connected to each other. So, you're not waiting for the next storyline, right? So that's why, to me, I think like Mandalorian, there's just a continued story, and you're just like, oh my gosh, 2 years. Same thing with the Amazon Lord of the Rings. You're like, oh my gosh, 2 years. I gotta wait for the next episode. But this, you really don't need it, and you want a good episode, a good story for each one, and
it's probably a lot more work, right? Because each episode you got to start over. You got to introduce a whole new cast of characters, tell a whole new story. You don't get the episodes don't get to be just chapters in a longer arc. So, although I mean, Ryan Johnson wrote a fair amount of this, and it seems like he's pretty prolific. So I think it just depends on if he can keep that up, and if they get the right people, right, as the show goes on, if they get the right directors and writers to maintain this, I think it could continue to be good. Because they've already confirmed season 2, right? I mean, we talked about that. Yeah. So do we want to go in and start putting the rank? And I think we were talking about doing, ABC. So who are the real A-listers in this roster?
Yes. So I think right off the bat, top of the line, I looked at Adrian Brody's career, dude. Mm-hmm. It's freaking amazing, right? He's done a lot of great things. So
why do you guys keep muting?
Career.
Why do you guys keep muting yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. He's had a solid career from 2002, The Pianist, to 2010. Mm-hmm. Like a solid career. He's just making movies every year. 2003 was a great year for him. 2008 was a great year for him.
Yeah.
Let's
go to the top and list, and just put it in the rank column, Simon, because then we can sort it if we want to try to after the end if we want to see what the
that makes sense.
So is it a number rank, or you said A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, A it is.
So he's an A-lister. That's what we're saying,
right?
And he is currently still an A-lister. We're claiming, right? That's not like
we're gonna do the peak of their celebrity.
Okay, so in this case, it's the list.
If you look, he's actually doing a lot of movies recently too.
Yeah, because he's never stopped working.
No.
Yeah.
Never stopped, dude. He's never took a gap off. It's like every year something's coming out. Whether it's a TV show, he did like Pierce Runner or something like that, right? And then he did Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah.
He's doing all kinds of stuff. Okay. Dasha Polanco. Her biggest thing, her name to fame was Orange is the New Black. That's like the height of her celebrity. She's done a bunch of other stuff since then, but let me see if I can pull her up. I have her somewhere.
So we're not grading on a curve, right? Because like someone could be like TV famous versus movie famous.
She has a SAGs award. I don't know if that puts her above certain celebrities that are B-listers.
I mean,
I'll say A, B, and C. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna do A, B, and C. Yeah. So
she's
a B.
She's a B. All right.
Yeah, she's a B. Noah Segan, he's a C. Yeah. He's done his fame is Looper. That's the biggest movie he's ever done, and I think he had like a cameo in there, like a small.
Noah Segan is. Hold on, I just want to confirm this. He's just Ryan Johnson's BFF, isn't he? He's not even an actor.
No, he's done some stuff.
I think you're right. He's the guy that just lounges about on the island in the Glass Onion.
Yeah. Okay, so he's been in. Okay, so he is an actor. He's been in other stuff. But yeah, he's in Looper. He was in Brick. I think Ryan Johnson just puts him in everything he makes. He was the junior detective in Knives Out.
Ah,
got it.
Yeah, and then he's Daryl, the guy in Glass Onion who's just smoking out.
I think I'm gonna I'm just gonna go out there and just say C is probably a good pick for this.
Yeah. C, because like, and you're right, he's been in a lot of other stuff too, but yeah, nothing. He's not like the star of anything big. The biggest stuff on his resume, is all of Ryan Johnson stuff.
There you go. So
right.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets hard. Ron Perlman. He's a worker.
Yep.
Been around forever. Done a lot of stuff.
He's done
the height of his fame is popular TV show, which was
that Beauty and the Beast show.
That wasn't really the
Oh,
height of his
shut
fame.
up, dude.
That started
No.
his career, you guys.
Yeah, but that wasn't the height of his fame.
That's not the height of his fame. The biker show, Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy and Hellboy really like put him over.
I think that's what made him generally.
Do you think he's an A, Simon?
He's an A.
See, here's the thing, though. Ron Perlman this is tough because, like, I feel like most people know who he is or recognize him. They recognize, like, he's got that strong jawline, right? They recognize the voice.
Right.
But, like, he's not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's not.
Is Adrian Brody Tom Cruise?
He's won an award, right? And he's starred in more movies than Ron Perlman. I guarantee.
At the peak of his fame, Adrian Brody, I think, is an A-lister on the same level as Tom Cruise. I would argue. I mean, okay, Tom Cruise Tom Cruise is definitely like he's on a bit of a level of his own, you know, at this point.
This is how we're gonna break it down. So like A is like the major league, right? You're a pro.
He's not a pro.
Like can you stop?
No, I'm not gonna stop. He's A.
Interrupting me.
Here's the
thing.
B
is the minor leagues, and you get called up to the A once in a while, but you're not going to be holding your own there. So you're not going to be a star.
Here's the real dividing line between B and A, right? Is can you headline a movie yourself? Can they make a movie and then on the poster it just says starring X,
right?
And it's just got a picture of you or something. No. Can they do that? They can do it. They can do. They've done that with Adrian Brody, right? Could they do that with Ron Perlman?
I just
Ron
feel
Perlman had to dress up in makeup, and you didn't recognize him as Hellboy.
Hellboy.
He's a B, Simon. Let it go.
That doesn't mean he's a bad actor or anything.
Two versus one.
That's the level. That's the level of fame.
Give me a
2 versus 1, dude.
Give me a second.
Ron Perlman isn't going to be headlining his own franchise of like big budget action films or something.
Even in the TV show, he wasn't headlining. It was the other kid, Jack whatever.
Yeah.
The Australian kid.
I'm just going to agree to disagree with you guys.
You can put a little comment in there, leave a note if you want. If it makes you feel better. Look, I'm just saying, Ron Perlman is not, you know. All right, moving on. We've got a lot of stuff to get through, guys. We can't stop and argue.
Based off that standard, how many A's are we actually going to see?
Probably not
this?
Many.
I just think it's Adrian Brody.
There's at least 3 more for sure. 3 more.
There's some more that maybe are in contention, but yeah, not a lot.
All right.
I'm sorry, Simon.
Do you need a minute? Don't have to apologize. Do not pander to apologies.
All right, fine. Hong Chow.
Hong Chow.
I mean, if you look at Ron Perlman's, career. This is it. 8 Nightmare Alley, 7 Drive, Blade 2.
He's just been in so many things.
Yeah, but
he's been in different mediums.
Quantity doesn't
Sons of Anarchy.
Quantity doesn't make you an A-lister.
Right.
But he does it well.
Adrian Brody. All right. Adrian Brody has starred next to so many superstars. Like
when you're the star of your own film and you win an Oscar for it, like the pianist.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Dang, again, that's
an A-list.
It's only going to be Adrian Brody on this list, you guys.
Maybe.
No, it's not.
But we'll see.
No, it's not.
We'll find out. If we're going to find out, we got to keep moving, guys. We got to keep going.
Hong Chow. Let's go. Hong Chow.
Hover over her name. No. So let's I think it should show like her picture.
Yeah.
From Wikipedia.
Right. Not all of them.
Not all of them
do that, but yeah.
No. All right.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
I'd say a C.
I mean, I was gonna say if it's that, it's because I think she just started her career, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay.
What else has she been in?
Right. Exactly. I don't. I'm gonna.
That movie came out this year. Where she's like a chef, but she's like the 5th, 6th character. She was the one that was threatening the people at the table. I forgot what it's called. It's on HBO Max.
This year?
Yeah.
The Menu?
And, like the chef like kills everybody.
That was last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, The Menu.
That was The Menu.
Oh, okay. So she was in that. That was a pretty successful movie. She was also
But
she was also in Watchmen.
she's like the 7th main character there.
Yeah, but she was also in Watchmen, right?
Yeah, she was in Watchmen.
Right.
She's in The Whale.
She's in The Whale.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's been in a lot of great stuff recently, you know?
Yeah, but she's not a main figure in any of those movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
and just what's the dividing line between a C or a B? Is it you can't headline your own movie, but most people know who you are?
B is, I think, Ron Perlman's the epitome of B.
Okay.
Like, you know who they are.
So
Right.
they can stand on their own 2 feet in a TV show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like Ron Perlman can he can headline a TV show. He's done that, right?
Okay.
They're not giving him like
Right.
$100 million summer blockbuster or anything, but
Right.
okay, I can go for a C. Like she's on the cusp, I think, of maybe hitting that B level because she's been so good in so many things. But you're right. I don't think if I showed her a picture to like my mom, she'd be like, "Oh,
Right.
it's Hong Chow."
Yeah.
Right. She knows who Ron Perlman
Yeah, if we
is.
see her in the street, we could approach her, she won't be offended. You know what I mean?
Right. Wait, do you think
We're like,
A-listers
"Hey,
would
I
be
know you.
offended
You're in
by
a-"
by her presence or something?
I think so. I think so. I
Like
think
if
Adrian
I saw
Brody just
Adrian
hates
Brody
other
and I
people.
walked up and tried to shake his hand, he'd be like, "Oh, excuse me, who are you?"
Are you bringing me water? What are you doing? Who are you?
Have you seen who's that guy, the comedian? He does that skit about rich people and how even when they're not like, even when they're like nice people, they're still kind of assholes because they're so used to just everything revolving around them. Who's that?
There you
who's
go.
that comedian? Peter Porker, Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
John
John something.
Mulaney.
Mulaney.
It's got a whole bit about like, who is it, that rock star who would just like walk into a room and just be like, he just ask for like, a Sprite, and he just hold his hand out and expect someone to bring him a Sprite. Right? And he just-
All right. So Megan and Ryan Colston, his biggest thing is poker face, literally, when I looked it up.
yeah, he's got like
Megan-
no career so far.
Megan Suri is she was the teller at her dad's store
Yeah.
in the
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
C's.
Yeah, sure.
C's.
Yeah. Colton is a C. He was great. He could have a future,
Right.
but definitely a C right now.
Yeah.
So this is where it's going to get fun.
Oh yeah, John. I was looking forward to this one. John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger. I'll let Simon go first so he can break and shatter his dreams.
Solid B.
Solid B.
Solid B.
Are you just going because of longevity?
I think because of that, but also just iconic things.
Yeah. He's a B.
Okay.
I'm gonna vote B. Cheers, Toy Story. He's John.
Exactly.
He's John Ratzenberger.
So even in Cheers, he was like, if you guys watched not Reno 911, Brooklyn 911 or Brooklyn 99.
Yeah.
You know those two fat guys that always eat stuff?
Okay.
That's what he was in Cheers.
So,
That's not iconic. He cannot stand alone.
we're talking about him right now.
Yeah. that image of that guy at the bar in Cheers, him and his friends talking
Yeah.
shit about, like, that's so burned into the collective conscious. Like,
That's a C-lister.
And
right
no,
No, this is
because of those characters in Cheers, we have those characters in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
yeah. They're the blueprint.
there. That means that is not what that means
It does.
at all.
Yeah.
No, it's
Look,
Simon. You cannot say that's what they are.
Here's the thing, though. If Cheers was the only iconic role it ever had, then I could see going for a C. But then he came back and he did Toy Story. So
30 years later, he had like maybe in each movie he probably has 10 minutes of speaking time.
That's fine.
yeah.
That's it.
That's fine.
No, you guys are just trying to be nerds, and because he's done this stuff, he's a C-lister.
If
for
I
sure.
showed his picture to my mom, she would know who he is. That's my litmus test now.
I would say he has not done a standalone anything at all.
So
He doesn't
He
need
cannot
to.
stand. If we're going based off our criteria, right? A B-lister could stand on their own and star in their own show. He has not starred in his own show whatsoever, based off your own criteria.
That was our
But-
criteria? I thought it was our criteria for A-listers is they could.
No, B-listers. That's what we said for Hellboy.
I
for
just
Ron
feel
Perlman.
that it doesn't have to be a strict letter to the law guide or demand. I know this person,
Yeah.
you know, and even if people don't know his name, people will recognize who he is
Yeah.
based off his
The
voice.
second he came on screen, I was like, oh, hell, it's the guy from Cheers.
It's John Ratzenberger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like-
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So. Sorry,
Brandon Michael Hall.
Yeah. We can start adding pluses and minuses if that would help. I could go down to a B minus, but
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a
Okay.
B minus. All right.
Okay.
That's fine. B minus.
and then
Need
and
to
you know what
see
that
those
means,
two.
Simon? We can give Ron Perlman a B plus. Would that help you sleep tonight?
I will. That makes me so great. And then I think Hong Chao is C plus. She's like B minus. C
No
plus.
way, dude. Don't even start. No.
Yeah, let's
Don't
let's
start
Fine.
going overboard.
let's not go crazy. And I think
Okay.
that's
Well, then
yeah.
definitely this.
is that a plus sign?
That's an
That's
equal
equal.
sign. My no. I'm gonna keep
Be
it that
equal.
because that's awesome.
Okay.
Just kidding.
All right. Wow, Simon is making this very difficult to a degree I was not expecting. Brandon Michael Hall.
I guess he starred in his own show. He starred in 2 of his own shows. The Mayor, but I don't know who he is. So
yeah, he seemed vaguely familiar to me, but I think
He's the subway guy, right?
what?
In the episode.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the victim. He's the
I
murder
couldn't
victim.
recognize him in anything else.
Right.
All right. So C.
But like, so that's the thing. In 2017, ABC, he was running his own. He had his own show. He was the head showrunner for The Mayor. I guess he was like the first ever like 19-year-old kid to win and be a mayor of the city, and that's what they went. That's what the show was. But
guess
Do you
really-
feel that that's a solid C?
he's a C.
He's a C.
He's
Okay.
a C.
All right.
Chelsea Frey.
Chelsea Frey. Who is Chelsea Frey?
Don't know.
C.
Okay.
So Lil
Yeah, if
Ray
you don't got a
Howard.
picture, you're automatic C.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right. If your own Wikipedia article.
This one's hard. Lil
This is
Ray, because
Got to be a B, right? From Get
at
Out.
least a B, right? I would
He's a
even.
B.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
okay.
started his own show called The Rail.
Yeah.
Yes,
I recognized him immediately.
Right.
And
right.
even though I didn't know his name off the top of my head, I was like, oh, yeah, it's that guy. Like, I know that guy.
He did Get Out. Like that was his like breakout movie role.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2017.
So
I have no
then
idea who this person is.
I think that's a C. I think
Yep.
she's pretty well known, you know,
Yeah.
within her domain, but not like widely.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I
The
have no
next,
idea.
the next 4 are for sure C. Simon.
Okay. Is this the brother, Shane Paul McGee?
What?
I'm sorry. I'm just like,
The brother?
yeah. Is Shane Paul McGee? Did he play the brother that got killed
No.
in the episode?
No, that was the next guy.
Oh, okay. So then
I think
C.
he was the radio guy, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He's up and coming. So yeah, he's a
Yeah,
C
Larry
right now.
Brown. It's funny because when I watched the show, I thought I recognized this guy, but I looked him up. I'm like, he has like, there's like nothing. There's
Okay.
like almost nothing.
All right.
Like, where did this guy come from? He looks like he's been acting forever. I thought it was good
Yeah.
in the show, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice the Dog is A plus. Yeah.
Dude, do not make a mockery of what we're doing. Do not make this a mockery. I
So
want to be legit as possible. Okay, that's all.
Maybe
I was
before
fighting
this
for,
show, he was a C, but this show has made him a star. Give it. Oh no, it's right. He's a D for dog.
B for dog.
yeah.
All right. That's cute.
It's Chloe Sevigny.
Simon, your porn star, your favorite porn star.
Why are you degrading her in that way? She has talent, she has skill.
He needs
Clothed
to
or
do
not.
this. He needs to do this to make himself feel better about the fact that she's an A-lister.
She is an A-lister. She's an A-lister.
You think she's
an
A-lister?
I think
Chloe
she's an
Sevigny
A-lister.
is like, I know she hasn't done anything huge lately. She's mostly done TV, but like, come on, she was in. I mean, Boys Don't Cry was huge when it came out.
Yeah.
So
You know.
this is like so okay, that was a good movie. It was a huge. It was.
I mean, granted, it's a lot of like indie stuff she's been in, right?
That's
like,
it. Right. That's a good
artsy
point.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So not like
Right.
blockbuster, right? But I feel
Unlike
like
Adrian
No
Brody, but
blockbusters.
but everyone knows
No
who she
blockbuster.
is, and she can headline a movie. Maybe not like a blockbuster movie, but she can headline a movie.
right.
She's the Ron Perlman, I think.
Okay, as much as I love Ron, I think Chloe Sevigny is definitely better than Ron Perlman. A minus. A minus.
I could go for an A minus. I could go for an A
Okay.
minus.
All right. I don't agree she's an A, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that guy, is this like his first role or something? Because he is.
Just like Noah Segan. Right? So, yeah.
John Hodgman. So this one's tough because I feel like he's pretty well known because he was on The Daily Show back in the day and he published some books and I think that made him known, right?
See, I didn't know who he was, but he looked familiar to me.
Really?
He looked familiar to me. Yeah, so but since you mentioned The Daily Show, now I see it through this Wikipedia page. You're
Yeah,
right.
segment,
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah, so
I'm still gonna say a C.
see?
I'm going to say C plus.
All right.
Okay.
I'd go with C plus.
Yeah.
He did 30 Rock.
Yeah,
Well, there you
he's
go.
been in a bunch of stuff. Like, I remember that he had his segment on the Daily Show like back in the day like that. I thought that made him pretty well known.
He was in Adventure Time too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What was
That's
he in
who.
Adventure Time?
He was DJ Plop Drops, the Elder Pops.
All right.
I love that show, but like some of those characters, you cannot say their names
Just
out loud.
random. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who
next?
Chuck Cooper is. So
He was the bouncer in this episode.
no, I
but
mean
yeah.
I know who he was in the
Yeah.
show.
I know,
I've never
yeah.
heard of him. So
Yeah, no. The blank ones are they're blank for a reason. I didn't know who they were, so I just
that's a
left them
C.
blank.
That's a C. Now John Darnielle, this is going to be a tough one, because he's John Darnielle, the Mountain Goats. Definitely A-lister as a musician
In regards. Okay.
and a songwriter.
Okay.
Legendary. This is his first acting role though, and the Mountain Goats is very much an indie band, so like they're not super well known. You probably heard their stuff somewhere, but you might not recognize who they are, right?
Okay.
To me, that's an A plus, but I don't. That's because I'm a tipster, so I don't know if that counts as an A plus for everybody. Probably my
So
favorite.
here's
I think in
the-
Hollywood, they're not an A-lister. And not in Hollywood.
right?
It just said Hollywood? No. Yeah.
What if we averaged it?
I mean, there's no freaking average in Hollywood. You're Hollywood or you're not.
I'm just saying. So he's A plus. He's A plus as a musician.
So we don't have to make everyone happy, okay? You don't have to make Jordan happy. He'll
No,
be
no,
okay
no, no.
if it's a C.
No,
He's not gonna die if we say C, Simon. He's not gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna stop being your friend, Simon, if you don't help me out right now. Okay?
Wow.
It could be a C.
Wow.
It's
it
a
went
C.
there? Okay.
It's a
Jeez.
C.
First of all, no. You know what? I'm gonna say in protest, he's a B minus.
No.
So I was gonna.
I'm gonna change it.
All right,
Nope.
everyone.
I'm gonna change
let's just lower the temperature a bit. So I was gonna argue for a C plus because
Wow.
this is his very first acting role. He's not widely known as an actor, but I feel like the fact that he's John Darnielle gets him a plus, right?
Gets a lowercase c.
No, it's just a C plus. We don't need to. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Come on. Let's try to maintain some.
I just can't believe all these exceptions we're making because
Just
you
a C
guys know
plus.
him. Nobody else knows him.
There
Nobody
were-
else knows
There
him.
were a bunch of articles.
The majority. If you gave that photo to your mom, she would not know who he was.
Which is why
That's
he's a
the
C.
list that we're using,
Which
right?
is why he's a C.
Not even a C plus. What the hell?
He's a C plus. He's John Darnielle.
Why are
There
you
were-
butthurt about
There were
this?
multiple articles written about this when the show aired. That oh my god, John Darnielle is acting
all right,
in this
all right.
show.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
Okay.
And he sings Mountain Goats music in the show. It's awesome. Don't get salty with me just because you guys don't have good taste in music. That is not my problem. All right. Let's go with the goddamn program.
Light.
I'm
Judith
taking this
Light.
damn seriously. All right.
Right.
Taking this very serious.
So Judith
This
Light.
ends the podcast. Like, we're done. No more podcast after this. We're just done. B. Solid B. No.
I did not recognize her.
I don't know who she
Okay.
is, dude.
Yeah.
Really? The female lead in Who's the Boss?
Dude, I haven't seen Who's the Boss since I was like 5.
She's the Who's the Boss lady?
She's the Who's the Boss lady.
I used to have a fat crush on her, dude. Why does
I mean,
she
that
look...
shower scene, I tell you what.
She looks younger than she does.
She
she
does
was younger.
something. Whether she sacrificed cats or something, she looks very young for her age.
Right?
She's bathing
Yeah.
in somebody's blood.
Yes, somebody's blood, right? So
Yeah. She has some baby
so-
foreskin on her face.
So she's got that TV heritage.
she does.
Does that get her to a B, or does she stay in the?
That's a C, dude. She's still a C.
See?
Okay.
All she's done was Who's the Boss?
No, she's done a lot of guest roles and stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
She
Well-
doesn't have a Toy Story though.
Yep, you're right.
Right,
I'll
that's the thing.
I'll accept it. I'll accept.
That's
C
the
for
stupidest
Judith.
criteria you guys have, by the way.
No, it's not,
I
dude.
do not
It is
agree.
not.
The most
is not.
one of the most
C.
popular film series
There are
ever made.
4 Toy Stories. He's
He's
in
a
all
C.
4.
Yeah.
There's gonna be another Toy Story, and let's just hope God have mercy on him. If he doesn't die before the 5th one, he's gonna be in the 5th one. Anyway,
You just jinxed it right now, Simon. No one was talking about death but you. I don't know why. Like,
Yeah,
I never
I'm sorry.
said he's that old,
Let's
he's
try
gonna
to keep it light
die.
here.
Why would you even bring
Yeah,
that up?
Trying to have fun.
it just after the whole baby foreskin comment that you made, it just went there. So,
Esapotha Murkison.
yeah.
I feel like this is a B plus. Like TV
So-
famous, Law and Order for several years.
Man,
You know.
I hear you, but it's like only that realm. So it's like going back to this John Darnielle, the hipster thing. Like, I didn't know who he was before, and like I recognize her, but I haven't seen the shows that she's
If I
been
seen
in.
her in a supermarket, I wouldn't know who she is.
You haven't seen Law and Order?
I've
never seen Law and Order.
I've not. I've
But
been
see,
a
that's weird.
SVU guy. I'm an SVU guy, so I
That's
did
what I'm
not see
saying.
the
You
original.
are definitely in the minority here.
I don't know, man. I personally just feel that, again, I'm not denying what you're saying. I've never seen her in anything.
Just saying.
Aside
TV
from-
famous and not just for one show. Right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know if she's TV famous, dude. She's done a lot of work, but she's not really a lead in anything.
She was
she's
a lead
like-
in Law and
if-
Order. She was the police chief for like several years. She was like,
You know what? Since
cornerstone
you know
of the
her,
show.
Jordan, I'll trust you. You could give her whatever you want. Okay. What do you want to give her?
I'd say B minus. The minus.
I'll go with B
because
minus.
She hasn't done anything major, as far as I know, since Law and Order. I mean, she's continued to like do stuff, but nothing like on that level.
Yeah, I'll go with B minus.
Okay, I could do that.
I did not know who Kay Kalan was. I
See.
feel like I've
Yeah,
seen
no,
her in
no,
stuff,
neither.
but I couldn't place her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is
Reed.
who is this person in the episode?
Wheelchair. Right?
No, that was Judith Light.
That was Judith. Oh, you're right. Wait. Kay Kalan.
Oh, I think that's the snitch.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think she did like one show on Nickelodeon. So yeah, see.
She was also on Orange is Black.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Orange is the New Black, yeah.
I mean, they're
But yeah, nothing
yeah.
big.
Reed Burney. See.
Don't know.
Simon Helberg. So this one, really?
No, I just didn't
Okay.
like the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, like I don't
So-
like it either, but that was like the most popular sitcom on TV.
It
for,
was a
like,
popular show.
decade.
Everyone knows
Okay.
who he is.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
that's
say B.
fair. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's like the Friends effect, right?
yeah,
They're automatically B's. The Seinfeld effect. They're automatically B's.
yeah.
Can I say B minus then?
Just because you don't like.
I won't be
Big
mad.
Theory.
That sounds really bitter, doesn't it?
I think he's a solid B. I mean, well,
Okay.
okay, no, B minus.
The
is
very
fine
fact
'cause-
that he got out of it, I respect. Mad respect for him. Mad respect. So I'll give him a solid B.
Okay. Don't know who Darius Frazier is. That's C.
She's hard. She's hard.
Yeah.
Because in the 80s, she was queen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She had a stellar career in the 80s, and she was in Ocean's 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
I say
she's
solid.
hard.
So
Go ahead.
in the 80s, was she? What was she in the 80s? What was her height in the 80s, Simon?
So I don't know the specific movie, but she was just one of those. She was kind of like just all the guys in the 80s apparently had a crush on her, kind of thing. She had that kind of.
What I'm saying, was she a B and A in the 80s?
Oh, I see. I don't know. I don't think she was an A.
All right.
Or a hardcore A.
So yeah, let's just go through some of this. She was in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. So A, right there. Yeah, she's the princess in that one. Let's see, The Big Easy.
She was an Up in Smoke.
Get Up in Smoke. Time Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Oh, she's in that one. Oh, she's the waitress. Yeah, I remember now.
Oh, yep. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Did she ever win an Oscar?
She was in Ocean's 12, but her scenes were deleted.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And yeah, Ocean's 13. So, I think she's a solid B because, like, if you look through her, she's not like starring in all this stuff, right? She plays supporting roles.
Okay.
Smaller parts.
So B, you say?
I say B.
All right.
She's done TV as well, right? So she's
Yep.
a fair amount of that.
Yep. All right.
She was in Ocean 13.
Yep.
Yeah. She was one of the leads in Ocean's 13.
Tim
She did a
Meadows.
show on TNT, but anyways, it's
Yeah.
like
Tim Meadows, I feel like
Golly.
he's a B.
okay.
He's a
Maybe
B.
All right.
B plus. Like everyone
Yeah.
knows who Tim Meadows is, even if they can't remember his name. Like he's played memorable roles in like so many things. They're just all
Yep.
small roles.
Yep.
He was the cannibal guy in Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
right? He's like friends with Jake, but he also like wants to eat his face.
He always gives drugs. He was the one that tempted Dewey Cox the drugs.
Oh yeah, I see. You don't want any of this.
You know what it is, but it makes you feel good.
It's not
He was
addictive.
also in Mean Girls. He's iconic. Everyone knows who he is because of
That's
Mean
right,
Girls.
that's right.
All the girls, right?
Well,
He was
because
the
the
principal.
Mean Girls had a bunch of the Saturday Night Live people, right? And he's a Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Tina Fey wrote that.
Yep. So definitely a B.
Okay.
Solid B.
Okay. I agree. I have no idea who this person is. Boop.
No.
Jamila Jamil.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to. Okay, so I like The Good Place a lot, and it's a show that a lot of people like, and so it makes me want to give her a B. But I don't know.
She's
what
a B
else-
now because of She-Hulk. She was in She-Hulk,
That's true.
and then she also. What else did she do? I have like a whole list of things she did. Just gotta find it. Sorry. Oh, I thought I did.
It's
I do
the,
not. I'm sorry.
I feel that in relation to Ellen
Oh.
Barkin and Tim Meadows B, I think she's slightly lower. She's B,
Yeah.
B
but I think
minus.
she's slightly lower. B minus.
Good Place, She-Hulk, American Dad. She was in Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
B minus.
She was in Robot Chicken,
Everyone's been in Robot.
DuckTales.
Yeah, she
She
was
did
in
a lot of
DuckTales.
voiceovers.
She was in DuckTales.
A lot
She
of
was in
voiceover stuff.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Animaniacs.
The new one?
Yep.
Pretty sure not the old one. She might have.
Yeah,
been.
right. I was just like,
Rugrats,
Anyways.
the movie.
Okay.
what?
So she does a
Okay.
lot of voice work, which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
not know. But okay. So
All right.
I don't know who Neil Cunningham is. C. Chris
Nor
McCoy,
I.
C.
Nor
Tim
I.
Blake Nelson. All right. I really want to give
Here
him
we
an A,
go.
but I feel like that's not. I can't do that.
I want to give him
He's
an
a
A
B
too.
plus, dude.
What's that?
He's a B plus, man.
I'm okay with
He's
B
the
plus.
guy that hangs out with all the A-listers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just feel that there's certain things that. So for a long time, he was always a side character, right? He was never a leading
Right.
role. But the movies where he is the leading role, he's actually pretty impressive. He's very good.
Yeah.
What
He's a
movies?
damn good actor.
So there's, I don't know the name of it, but
The Report. He was in
Okay.
that one.
but was he a lead in that one?
He was the lead. He was a lead in that one.
Okay.
And it just was a small budget film. And everyone said he killed it. I thought he killed it, but it's just because it was so low budget, it didn't
No
get
one,
the
yeah,
news.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
These low budget films, again, I'm okay with B plus, but like
Tim Blake Nelson is like an A-list character actor, right?
okay,
Right.
Where he's
Okay.
not really an A-lister, but he you're right. He works at that level, just never as the star.
Right.
I think
He was
B+.
in Lincoln. Remember in Lincoln?
Yeah, and he was also. I really liked him in Watchmen. So he's another one of those character actors. He's in
okay.
Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
The mirror face guy. So
What about the Ballad of Buster
Scruggs.
Scruggs?
He was good in that.
Oh, that's right. He's Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, he was good in that.
Yeah, he was great
Yeah.
in that.
So, yeah, there was a
He
movie.
was scary in that, dude.
Yeah.
I was intimidated by him.
There was a movie he did where he played a retired Billy the Kid, which was good. And so,
Yes.
yeah. But anyways,
Okay.
B plus, I'm fine with.
The Thin Red Line. He was in Thin Red Line.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, right. But again, he's a side character in that. So, even though it was a leading,
Is he a
role.
side character? He's the
a
big
lead.
three.
Yeah,
the main three
John
characters.
Turturro, Tim Blake
George
Nelson,
Clooney.
and George Clooney. Yeah,
Do
they made that.
Do we
movie.
want to consider an A minus? I mean,
I'm really
Well,
okay
what
with
is
A minus
Fox?
B plus. I'm really okay with A minus B
I
plus.
mean, I just want to make sure we're not giving him an A minus just because we happen to like him as an actor. Because I feel like
No, yeah, I think B plus is like
Okay.
pushing it.
like I'd love to give
All
him an A, but like
Yeah.
You get an A, and you get an A.
Yeah.
All right.
Charles Melton, I did not know who that was.
I have no idea
No.
who this person is. Yeah.
I'll be honest. Everybody else in that episode, I was like, I don't recall seeing them
Right.
in anything.
We'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Nick
Nolte.
So Nick Nolte was an
This
A-lister
guy,
in the 80s.
He was in the
he
80s.
was
Yeah.
an A-lister. Especially in the 80s. He was the man.
And are we saying we're judging them by the peak of their fame?
Yes. Yeah.
He has to be an A, even though
He's an A-lister.
it's been a while. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Solid A.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a real A.
Cherry Jones. Yeah.
So, yeah, the only thing I remember her was in Signs.
All right,
She
C.
played the sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
C.
right.
Luis Guzman. So in my heart, I want to
Golly.
give him an A plus, but I feel like this is another
Yeah.
solid B. Like this guy
'Cause I like him.
defines
Yep.
B list, right? Where like everyone kind of knows who he is. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
He's in like a million goddamn things, but he's never like the.
Yeah. He's the Hispanic Tim Blake Nelson. He's an ugly guy. No one wants. He plays the rough role. He plays that role no one wants to play because it's the ugly mutt type character. You know what I mean?
He does tend to play unpleasant people, right? He plays in Narcos, right? He's the Mexican. He's like the Colombian drug lord, and they call him the Mexican because they don't like him and they all hate Mexicans.
He was in Carlito's Way.
Yeah.
He was the right-hand man. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in
Boogie.
Count of Monte Cristo. He plays
Yeah.
oh, what's the guy's name? Anyways, yeah. But he does a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a show I liked
He was
from
in Magnolia.
last year, The Resort. He plays a
okay.
he plays a really important role in that.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's the guy he plays is kind of an asshole who then dies very dramatically. I think B. I kind of want to say B plus, but I feel like that's probably going too far.
Okay.
You know?
I'll go with B. B's.
I guarantee you, though, everyone knows who he is. Kind of like Tim Blake Meadows. If he's like walking around, everyone's like,
Tim
"Oh, I
Blake
know who you are."
Meadows.
Did I say Tim Blake,
Tim Blake
Nelson?
Meadows.
Sorry, Tim Blake Nelson.
We were gonna combine Tim Blake Nelson,
That love child.
Tim Meadows. Oh, that would be horrifying. Maybe B plus, because you're right. He is like, everyone knows who this guy is. I mean, Community had a whole running joke
Exactly.
about him being
He's
the
like
most
the famous alumni.
Yeah, they give him a statue.
He was in the Addams Family Netflix movie
Wednesday.
recently.
That's right. He plays Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, B plus.
I'll go with B plus.
B plus.
Who is Rowan Blanchard?
Nobody.
Doesn't even want to open.
Yeah.
I don't know. C. I don't.
C.
Tim Russ. Nobody.
He's Voyager?
He's what?
Yeah. He was on a Star Trek show.
I know. I recognized him, but I couldn't remember where from.
Yeah, he was on. I think it was Voyager.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
C.
Still C.
All right.
Sorry. All right, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So Third Rock from the Sun, I don't think is really the peak of his fame.
No.
I mean, yes,
No,
that
that's
was a
when he
very
got
popular show.
Yeah, that's when he got started to get popular. Yeah, you're right.
Angels in the outfield. Angels in the outfield.
Angels in the
That was up there.
But I feel like he joined the ranks, potentially joined the ranks of the A-list, either with Christopher Nolan, right? Because he was in a couple of Christopher Nolan movies. Or 500 Days of Summer. That was a huge hit when it came out.
Yeah.
What has he done lately?
He was also in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was. I feel like he deserves an A. I feel like people know who Joseph Gordon-Levitt is.
He's an A.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I was waiting for this episode is because of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
They put him in the trailer. They put him in the trailer for this series for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go.
Castaneda. So I've seen him in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, that's how I know him only. You know.
But like at a B level, though, I don't know if he's made it to that B level yet.
He might be a B plus, dude. I'm gonna argue it in a little bit.
You're gonna say plus? I was gonna concede with minus.
Based on what?
A B minus, Simon?
Yeah, I'd concede to B minus because his only role, good as it may be, was Umbrella Academy. That's the only thing I know of him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh no,
David Castaneda.
Yeah. David Castaneda.
Yeah, David. Yeah, I'd say B.
Really?
B
I was gonna
minus.
say C because I don't know what else has he done besides Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't done for that.
Look, I thought he was great and he was good in Umbrella Academy. He was good in this. I just like, has he made it to be? I feel like you gotta have at least like 3 things.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's been a part of good movies.
How about C plus then? We had
I'm just whatever you guys decide. I'm not tripping. He was in Sicario.
Was he?
He was in Jane the Virgin. He was in Guilty.
Okay.
But again, like 4th, 5th, 6th tier roles, like
right.
He was an extra. He was starting off. He was waitering still at that time.
Yeah.
Let's say C plus. Like he's almost there.
Yeah.
He just needs to do a couple more things.
Yeah, that's fine. Stephanie Sue. So this one's hard because I've seen her ever since she started doing credit card commercials. I recognize her from then. You know what I'm saying? So like it was this meteoric rise to be in like really great.
Why is that hard? She's doing credit card commercials, dude.
She started there, and now she was in Shang-Chi just for a little bit. She was in Everything Everywhere All at Once as the main character.
Yeah. So a year ago,
Wait, no,
I would have said.
Yeah, she was. She's the daughter.
Yeah. So a year ago, I would have said like either B minus, maybe C. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think puts her in A. Because
Wow.
that movie won every single goddamn award. Have you been following that? It
I
won
know
like
that
7 Oscars.
I know that Short Round got
Yeah.
it, and I was happy. So
Best supporting actor, best actress, like best everything, best director. And then before that, it won a bunch of SAG awards. It's just won every goddamn award there is to win at this point. And given the prominent role she has in it, it's hard for me not to see that as like a break, like a big break for her as an actress, right? Like I'm gonna say A.
No way, dude.
I could be argued down to an A minus, but like
what?
Yeah,
dude, you guys are on crack, dude.
It was the biggest movie of the year.
No way she's even a B.
Whoa, okay. No. I would say B. Solid B. Even B plus. Just I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once yet, so
whoa.
I don't know.
You haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that she is good. She's very good. But no, I have not yet. I have not seen it. I just because of the limited amount of what she's done, I wouldn't propose an A.
I'll tell you this right now. Just because she's in one of the biggest movies in the country and it won a bunch of awards, not one person is speaking about her role. She's not a breakout character to get a B.
In the movie? No. So even though I didn't watch the movie, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that.
You have no say.
I have no say. Have you watched the movie?
You didn't watch the movie.
Did you watch the movie?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I talked about it like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, that's fine then. That's fine. I then if that's the case, I will have no say. I will not have a say on this.
You can't star in the biggest movie of the year that everyone's still talking about a year after it came out.
She didn't star, dude. She didn't star.
Yeah, she was not the movie is basically centered around her, even though
Jamie Lee Curtis was a star.
Jamie Lee Curtis is a supporting character in the movie.
Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon was a star.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Round Short
Michelle
Yeoh.
Yeah. Michelle Yeoh is the main character, but the movie is essentially about Stephanie Sue's character.
James Hong was a star.
So yeah, and that movie is too big of a deal to not get her up into like.
Angela Bassett was a star. Awkwafina was a star.
Why are we talking about Awkwafina?
Natasha Lyonne was a star.
No, I think she's at A minus. Like that movie was just such a huge.
Shut your mouth, dude. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. C plus the most. That's it.
No.
She is not a star.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet. But
exactly. That alone right there, that cages you into the answer. We don't know yet. We don't know. So if we don't know yet, there's no way she's an A.
I'm just saying though, it's meteoric where she's going. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she started off in credit card commercials, but now she's here. Did she get an Oscar? Did she herself get an Oscar?
No, she didn't get nothing. She didn't get noticed for her role at all.
I don't think she's C, but I don't think she's A.
She's definitely not a C. Again, yeah,
I don't think
you don't
C.
star in the biggest movie of the year and get, yeah.
Yes, you do, because no one knew about this movie. It got big because it got big, not because of her. She was not the reason why it got big whatsoever.
Well, yeah.
There was not a memorable moment of her role.
But it's one of those movies that you can't say, like, what made it big? What star made it big for this movie? It was just a very good movie.
Yeah.
Just the
Michelle Yeoh made it big. What are you talking about? All the different characters she's played within herself made that big.
But Stephanie Sue did the same thing.
Yeah, she does do the same thing. And she is kind of what the movie is about, right? So
Michelle Yeoh is what makes this movie.
I think it brought people in for sure, but again, okay, right.
You didn't even watch the movie. Why am I talking?
True.
You didn't watch the movie.
That's a good point.
We're arguing in something you didn't see.
I still can't believe. How did you not see that movie? How did you not see it?
It's on all the platforms for free right now.
Is it really? Been talking about nonstop for like a year.
Well, you're right. It's in the queue, man. It's in the queue. I gotta watch it.
That means nothing coming from you, Simon.
I'm
means
gonna break.
nothing.
I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna just say B.
All right.
B minus. I'm not going
I
over
could
B
go
minus.
for a B. I could go for a B.
B minus. She did nothing in this role exceptional. She did nothing great. Nothing great. Michelle Yeoh did, or Short Round did. They played themselves in 10 different ways. That was amazing. The daughter didn't do nothing. She was just there.
Just give it a B.
Okay.
Ron Perlman again.
Obviously. Already got it.
Yeah.
Simon Hilberg.
Same.
I don't know who that was.
That was a Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
Going
yeah,
back-
yeah,
We already
yeah.
rated them.
Yeah. What was it rated?
We don't have to do it again. He's already
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine then. Clea Duvall.
I've seen her
I've seen her too.
in a bunch of things. I just can't put a name and like what she's actually starred in.
Do you remember?
But her biggest movie was like Fargo.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I was gonna say I remember her from that. It was like the Invasion of Body Snatchers kind of movie, but like it was like high school students. Elijah Wood was in it, and like
The Faculty.
the Faculty. That's right.
There you go.
Faculty. So that's what I remember her for. So
Do you only watch like B movies? Like, we talk about movies like everything everywhere all at once. You're like, oh, I haven't seen it, but you've seen The Faculty. Nobody's seen the goddamn Faculty.
I have not seen it in its
Watch the
fullness.
Unicorn movie, Gordon. He watches the Unicorn movie
That's
every
a great
day.
movie.
The Last Unicorn.
It's a phenomenal movie. Anyways, I'm okay putting her as a C.
That's a C. I think she's a C.
Yeah.
Rhea Perlman is a B, I think.
But
Who is she? I don't know who she is.
she's from Cheers too. Danny DeVito's wife.
Yeah,
Curly
hair. It's like short, yeah. And she's been in like a bunch of stuff, but yeah, she's never been like.
Okay.
Like you see her,
I'll
it's
go
like,
with
oh
B.
yeah, it's Rhea Perlman, but like
Yeah.
Benjamin Bratt. So this one's tough. So
Yeah.
I say A. I think he's an A-lister.
no,
Really? What's one movie that he started that was critically acclaimed?
Blood in, blood out, dude. What are you talking about?
I mean, look, it's a good movie, but
It's a huge movie.
it's not exactly blockbuster status. So his biggest role, I think, was still Law and Order. That's what he's most known for, right? As the detective on Law and Order. He tried to make the transition.
You and Law and Order.
He tried to make that transition to film, and it didn't stick,
Right.
right? And he had a few roles that were good, right? But he never really achieved like that movie star status.
Miss Congeniality. Excuse me.
I'm sold.
He's the detective in Miss Congeniality. Here's the thing. He's the detective boyfriend in Miss Congeniality. He's the detective boyfriend in Catwoman.
He's found his niche.
That's what I'm saying. He's a solid B, maybe a B plus.
Yeah.
All right.
agree.
I'll go with that.
Yeah,
B
I
plus.
think he has what it takes to be an A, but like for whatever reason, he's just never really had that role. You know.
Yeah. He's played in big movies like Traffic, Demolition Man, Coco,
Yeah.
Miss Congeniality, but he was just never the star.
He's never quite broken through. So
DMZ, he was one of the stars in DMZ. It wasn't bad. Did you guys watch that?
no.
It was on HBO.
I think it's in
It's
my
him and
queue, but all the
Rosario
reviews
Dawson.
were pretty bad, so I just didn't get around to it.
It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't that bad.
So let's Simon, you want to delete
Doctor Strange, guys? Come on.
What?
His huge role in Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Simon, do you want to delete the duplicate Ron Perlman, Simon Hilberg lines?
Sure.
All right. All right. So I think what we can do now is sort them. I think you might want to just go up to the top, see if we can sort the column by that column.
Yep.
No, by the rank.
I know. Yeah, but you want it all shaped. You want it all based off.
I don't think you have to select
rank.
them. You just
Oh, okay.
go to the column, see. column.
Yeah.
Click on the menu. Yeah.
There you go, Simon.
Sort sheet A to Z. Let's see if that works. It might not handle the plus and minuses. Yeah.
It's actually, I think it did.
Mostly.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The pluses should be at the top, but I mean,
Oh,
if you want,
okay.
you can.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're just looking for the A's.
So we got 4 A's, well, 3 A's and 1 A minus. Adrian Brody, Nick Nolte. So what this means is that next year, right? That's what they want to beat, is those 4 people at the top, I guess.
Yeah.
Assuming
So,
that
plus
this is
or
the
minus-
standard that they're using, right? So
Right. Plus or minus, next season they have more than 4
A-listers.
or 3 A-listers.
Because now that they've built some clout, people are watching it, people like it, people are going to want to be on the show. Because that's what happened like with Columbo. So their shows, like the first season, you're not going to see a lot of like huge names, right? It's a lot of TV people. But then like the subsequent seasons, that's when they started getting like movie stars, right? To be the murderers. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Let's see. So let's say 4 A-listers. A minus is still an A.
Yeah.
And then how many B-listers we got, Simon?
We got
Just highlight it and then
1, 2, 3,
I'll
4,
count
5,
it on the
6,
bottom.
7.
Just keep on going. I'll
Just
count it
highlight
automatically on the bottom right.
I got it.
54? No.
No, that can't be it.
No way.
How are they getting that number?
Clearly, we don't know how to use Google Sheets.
14.
14.
Oh, it's the
okay.
number of cells, maybe? Is that
Yeah,
one?
Yeah.
All right.
So 14. Okay. That's about right for the first season too. You get a budget for 4 A-listers and then 14, and everything else is C-listers.
Also, if you scroll up to the top, right? So one of the interesting things too is
30.
It's the first or Escape from Shit Mountain, Dead Man's Hand, The Stall.
One of my favorite, Rest in Metal.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good spread.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like, it's not just 1 or 2 episodes where they had a good cast, right?
Right.
I feel like they did a good job sharing the wealth.
So out of the 4 A-lister episodes, which one's the best?
I think it's a tie between Gordon-Levitt and Brody.
I don't know. I think Rest in Metal is in terms of just a standalone episode.
Yeah.
I think that one stands alone as well. And also like the cast is good. Like Chloe Sevigny is really good as like this really cynical burned out.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And like you kind of get it, but you can also believe that she would murder somebody. Right?
It's almost as if she may have been tapping into personal experience, one might say.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was great, and I liked the sort of the dynamic of the three murderers together. Just like none of them, like they all want it bad enough to do it, but they also need permission from each other, essentially, to like convince each other to do it.
Right.
And you like the murder victim so much, so.
No, for real.
That's okay. I think of these 4, I think that's the best one. And I think, I mean, Dead Man's Hand was great, and Adrian Brody was great, but a lot of that was just Adrian Brody's just a good actor, you know. It's not so much the story itself that makes that work, and
that just led to everything else.
Right.
That's what I felt. It was just like they used him to really set up the show going forward, but Rest in Metal is like out of those 4, Rest in Metal is my favorite. It was just a feel good. I mean, besides the guy dying, but like it was just.
I know feel good is not the word I would use, but yeah, especially like Orpheus Syndrome was really interesting. That was the one that was directed by Natasha Lyonne, by the way.
Oh,
no
okay.
way.
Yeah, and it looked like it because it reminded me a lot of Russian Doll, the show that she made on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like this weird, surreal visual experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably
That's
the
one where
most.
she like wakes up every day and the same thing, right? Is that Russian Doll was?
Yeah. No, well, it's like she respawns at the same moment when she
Right.
dies. If she dies,
Right,
like
right, right,
she's in
right.
like the bathroom at her friend's party, and if she dies,
Right,
she's there
right.
again, and yeah. And it gets weird. Like as that show, it gets real weird. And so that one definitely reminded me of, even though I think as an episode, like Nick Nolte is good in it, but also he's not in it that much. Well, okay. I mean, it's also got, I mean, it's a pretty good cast overall, actually. I mean, that's the one with Luis Guzman. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, Arrested
Okay.
Metal is still my favorite of all of those. Again, like Escape from Shit Mountain, it's kind of a really great, tense crime thriller, right? On its own. And I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt's really good in it. But if I had to rewatch any of these right now, I'd probably go for
You be Arrested Metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Simon, what was yours?
It was either between Dead Man's Hand or Escape from.
You just love ruining the game. You just pick one. It's just one. You pick one and that's it.
Fine, Escape from Shit Mountain. That's the
Always
one.
got to
I
be
like.
contrary, man. You just got to disagree with every single thing.
Pick one damn thing, dude. That's what you gotta do. It's not hard.
Makes the show spicy.
All right.
What about you, Josh?
Right. What?
Did you pick one?
You're not listening to the show? Are you blanking out when you're not talking?
He's not
Are
listening.
you
to us
just
at
like
all.
zoning out?
He's waiting
He's
for
like,
us to
"Oh,
stop
everyone's
talking
talking,
so
I'm
he
just
can
gonna-"
start talking, but he's not paying attention to anything you're saying.
No. It's when you guys talk. That's when I start talking, just to interrupt you guys. Duh.
Okay. So you do not know what I picked? You didn't
I'm
know what
so
I picked?
sorry. I must have been totally oblivious to what you were saying.
Yeah,
I
I
have
really
no
wasn't
idea.
listening. Don't tell him.
No, I was legitimately not listening. I'm so sorry.
Dude, it's a
dude?
podcast. The whole point of this is we're talking, and we're talking.
If you
to
want
each
me
other.
to,
That's
if you just
literally
want
it.
me to go back
That's
into
it.
the actual episode,
It's
I'll do it. I
literally-
just don't know.
The only thing you have to do is talk and listen. That's it.
That's it, dude. That's what makes the podcast is you listen and talk.
I really understand what you guys are saying, but just this moment, lapse of memory.
You know what's funny? I was watching you zone out. You were just sitting there just like
He's just thinking about Chloe Sevigny. That's it. We just lost track of what we were talking about.
No, I'm so sorry. I was just actually. Anyways, did I ever tell you I met Nick Nolte's son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
you did.
You've told us so many times.
It's a great story. I went to Europe with the kid.
Yeah, you went to Europe with him.
Yep.
We got it, Simon.
BFFs.
We got it.
You hung out.
All right.
You went to
We didn't
France.
really hang out per se, but like, yeah, it was interesting.
Did I ever tell you I was in Europe in close proximity to Nick Nolte's son?
It was extremely close proximity with Nick Nolte's son.
We weren't like hanging out.
I followed them everywhere.
Yeah.
you know.
He was in Ransom, Nick Nolte's son, with Mel Gibson. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Nice, man.
Trivia.
Really cool.
All right.
Well, that's the show, guys.
Wait.
Jordan and I enjoy it. We like talking to each other and sharing our opinions and thoughts.
And listening to
And
each
Simon
other.
just likes to talk and not listen to each other, to us. So,
Are we? I'm sorry. Are we really ending it? I thought we were going to talk about who we want to see in second season.
are you gonna even listen to us talk? Or are
I
you gonna
will.
listen to
I
our
will
words to say?
intentionally. I will make the supreme effort to listen to you guys, or listen to specifically
All right,
Josh.
let's spend 10 minutes talking about that. I think it's worth it. I will be excited to hear your thoughts.
All right.
Josh
All
and
right,
Simon.
Jordan. This is your baby. This is your cow that you love sucking on the teat of. In Ryan Johnson.
That's the metaphor you're going.
Yeah, I thought it was PG. I thought it was clean. Who would you like to see in this next coming season?
Yeah, as the official Ryan Johnson fan club founder, Yeah, that's that's a tough question. I think so. There's a lot of people that have been okay. So we had Joseph Gordon-Levitt showing up in this, probably mostly as a favor to Ryan Johnson, because I don't think he would be in this if that weren't the case, right? If they weren't like bros. And there's a lot of other actors that I think it would be awesome to see in this, right? Um, so we were talking. Actually, we were talking about shoot, what was his name again? Why am I blanking on this? Um,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
no, he's already been in this.
Daniel Craig.
No, but he was in Glass Onion.
Chris Evans?
Dave Bautista.
Dave
No.
Bautista.
Oh, yes, yes.
So I'll start with that just because, like, look, he has played really great character parts in so many movies, right? So like, he's avoided doing a lot of the more action-oriented stuff that a lot of like pro wrestlers turned actor have really gone all in on, right? He's definitely had some action-oriented roles, but man, he's just like shown up in stuff like Glass Onion and Blade Runner, and what the recent Cabin in the Woods movie, not Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods.
What's it called? Was it just called Cabin in the Woods?
No,
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods was that
That was a different movie, wasn't it?
that was the Buffy director. Oh my gosh.
J.J. Abrams.
No. The guy that got
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer creator. He made Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, this is a different movie.
Is that Alone in the Cabin? Something cabin.
Yeah, they're in a cabin and they show up and
Yeah.
they got to sacrifice somebody.
They have to
get them into
sacrifice the
world.
Korean girl. That's right. Freaking M. Night Shyamalan, I swear.
Okay. But anyway, he's been great in a lot of stuff. I would love to see him in the show, in any role. But hopefully one where he gets a lot of screen time. And yeah, I mean, Daniel Craig would be awesome. I just don't know. The thing is, he's Ryan Johnson's other sleuth now, right? And I don't think they can cross the streams. So we were talking about this recently, right? Like, Natasha Lyonne has a cameo as herself in Knives Out, so she can't show up as her character, right? But I don't think she should. They're just two different characters. I don't, as much as some people might enjoy it, I don't think Ryan Johnson wants to build a Ryan Johnson mystery shared universe, right? Where all these different detectives are like teaming up, because I feel like that would just get a little bit silly. Yeah, I'll say Dave Bautista, and I'll pass it to you, Josh. See what else you're thinking of.
I want to say I'm going to be controversial, and I'm going to say Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill?
I can't think of his Mark Hamill.
I was thinking that too.
Okay.
I was thinking that too.
He's also
And,
a good character actor. People forget about that because he's Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reason is because Mark Hamill had like not nice things to say about Ryan Johnson's character development of himself. So I don't know if they're on good terms still or not, but there's a lot of interviews out there where he kind of goes off and says Ryan Johnson killed this character and didn't agree with it. So it'll be kind of fun to have him on there, and I don't know, it'll be funny.
That's it. Just
That's it.
no, I think that's actually a really good choice because he's a great character actor. He's got a great voice.
Yeah.
And he's really good at playing villains. I mean,
Yes.
obviously as the Joker, but like just kind of, he can play a bad guy and he can do it really well. I would like to see.
He's going to be in Simon's favorite comedian, Bert Kreischer's movie.
Yeah, Machine Man or something like that.
I Am the Machine.
The Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
This is
yeah.
based on his story about going to Russia and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hung out with the Russian mafia, and he plays.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill plays his dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually looks really good.
I'm
Sure.
interested. I'm
Sure.
interested in seeing it. All right, Simon, who would be your first choice to see?
So both of you guys I've already thought of those guys. I thought they would be great. So I'm gonna go on a limb here. There's a lot of folks that I think about. A lot of folks. That being said, I wouldn't mind going back to his Star Wars flick, Rise of The Last Jedi. Adam Driver, I think would be amazing.
Okay.
I think
That'd be good.
That'd be
Yeah.
really cool. I think Adam Driver. I wouldn't mind Daisy Ridley. I think Daisy Ridley could be really good too. And then outside of Star Wars, I was just looking through, and like he did a movie called just out. So this is my presupposition that maybe some folks that he worked with to return, but he made a movie called The Brothers Bloom.
Oh yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's in it.
That's right.
So, hey, I mean, I think that would be actually really interesting to see Mark Ruffalo in the second season of Poker Face as well. So.
Damn. See now that you mention it, now that you mention The Last Jedi, because like you know who else is kind of an A-lister but also does television and knows Rian Johnson, is Oscar Isaac. Right?
Oh yeah.
I would love to see Oscar Isaac in just one episode.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be dope.
that'd be dope.
Yeah,
That'd be dope.
that'd be off the hook.
That'd be amazing.
What about Bryan Cranston?
Yes.
They did Godzilla together.
That's
That.
true.
Yeah. No.
Wait, Godzilla?
I think.
Didn't they do Godzilla?
Rian Johnson did not direct Godzilla.
Oh, I thought he did.
No. What? Have you seen Godzilla? You're talking about the American one from like a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's
Who
not-
did Godzilla then?
It's the same guy who directed Rogue One. I forget his name.
No.
Yeah. That's why they
Tony-
hired him. Because of Godzilla.
Didn't Tony Gilroy direct Rogue One?
No.
Oh.
No, he wrote it. Or
Okay.
let me
Okay.
see. Story by hold on, let me see. Screenplay by Chris Weitz and Tony Go. So he contributed to the screenplay. And he
Okay.
might have stepped in towards the end because like I guess they had because like the production kind of went off the rails. Right? And they had to like kind of save it because it was going over budget and over time. But no, it was directed by the guy who did Godzilla and Monsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, I would like to see Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
He's-
that'd be
again,
actually off the
They
hook.
have worked together though, just not on Godzilla, but they worked together.
Oh, really? What did they work on each other with?
Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Rian Johnson's directed several episodes of Breaking Bad. He was like some of the best ones. He directed Ozymandias.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like back before he got big again with movies. Because I think after The Brothers Bloom, that didn't do so well, so he kind of like went to TV for a while or something. But yeah, he directed a few episodes of that, and they're like really good. So yes, that is a good choice. We should get Bryan Cranston in one of these episodes.
Heck yeah, we gotta get Jesse Pinkman too.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, that's probably a big part of like, why Peacock is shelling out money for this too, right? Is Rian Johnson has these connections. He can pull these kind of people in and get them on this network. So yeah.
All right.
We are now 2.5 hours into this podcast.
Amazing.
Because Simon insisted on arguing over every single goddamn person on the list.
Wait, Rian Johnson did Rogue One.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Did he write Rogue One?
No.
I don't think so.
Why? What are you looking at?
Google.
And what are you looking at on Google?
Like altfactsimdb.com.
Let's see.
Right, yeah.
Directed by Gareth Edwards. This guy did Godzilla. Screenplay by Chris Weitz and Tony Gilroy. Produced by Kathleen Kennedy, Allison Schirmer, Simon Emanuel.
Nope. All right, you're right. I don't know why Google showed me.
He does cameo as a Death Star technician in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, that's
But he's
probably
not
why.
actually. But he doesn't do it. That's it. That's all he did. I did not know that though. That is interesting. I didn't know he was in Rogue One, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
All right.
All right. I'm
Well,
exhausted.
I am too. All this yelling and screaming at Simon really wore me out.
This was fun, but also I feel like we might if we do this again, we might want to limit it to just like the murderers and the victims or something to shorten it and give Simon less BS to bring to the table.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have to argue about the guy who was on Cheers.
I just want to defend his career, you know, him and Ron Perlman.
I'm just saying he also is a pretty small part in the show. He's not the murderer.
Oh, no. We spent
like half an hour arguing over a guy who has like 3 lines.
It was because of his auto shop that made this episode kept going. Okay. So like, it was like the central aspect of the episode. So.
Okay. We're not getting into this now. So it's okay. I'm just going to nod and agree and we're going to move on.
Should we, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Let's go ahead.
No.
Let's close this out.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna close the poker face window, but we don't have to if
No, I think I'm going to. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So now we are done.
Thank you guys for putting up with us, and hopefully next time Simon can contribute a little bit more than just speaking, and he can listen to us all. And hear us all.
That's fair. I just feel that I contributed a lot already. So,
dude, sometimes I really want to smack you, dude. I really want to just be there and smack you.
All right.
You know, it's because I think your truth is not wrong, but it's annoying.
My truth?
What does that?
Because sure, you contribute a lot, but you're not putting in the work the way we're putting in work. You're putting in work as far as like, I'll be the one that just throws things out there and be annoying, right? And I know you're doing that, and it pisses me off.
I feel that one, it's not intentional sometimes, but two, when it starts goading me, it's gonna come out.
The truth is annoying.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to conclude, and
God.
We're going to get the outro going. Thank you, Jupiter7, for giving us that outro music. We love you. Right. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and what does Josh say? Josh, say it.
You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
All right.
Yeah, we could trim that next time for sure. We have to do every single person.